Starting because we have to burn on the gun. Please settle down. If you please settle down, and we can start. Everyone. So the meeting is being recorded. Again, if you could please make sure that your cell phone is on silent or vibrate. It's being recorded and live streamed. I would like to thank everyone for coming out tonight. There's a lot going on. And I know people are concerned about the coronavirus, but I also heard that I think 25% of the population is affected by the Super Bowl virus. And people are out or down today, so it's amazing that we've had such a tremendous turnout tonight. It's also the night of the first Democratic primary, the Iowa primary, and impeachment continues. I'm just so very proud of one of the House managers who happens to be representative for our congressional district, Congressman Hakeem Jeffries. I think we should. There's some seats over here in the front if anyone needs a seat. So I'm going to start by just going through the agenda, and then I'm going to give some brief remarks. The first thing will be remarks from the chairperson, yours truly, followed by acknowledgement of elected officials and community partners, followed by the district manager's report to be given by Mr. Henry Butler. We have 3 informational presentations tonight. First one will be from the Transportation, Sanitation, and Environment Committee on the plastic bag ban that will be going into effect. Introduction will be given by Gregory Glasgow. The second informational presentation will be given by the Economic Development Committee on our SLA process. Third informational presentation will be on the capital and expense budget. And the presentation will be given by the budget coordinator, Anthony Busseret, and PJ Wilson, 2 budget coordinators. The informational presentations are going to be followed by 2 public hearings. The first one coming out of the Housing and Land Use Committee, and regarding an application that's been submitted by HPD. The second public hearing, will be regarding a SLA license application and request for letter of support. The public hearings will be followed by community announcements, roll call for all of the board members, committee updates and resolutions. Following the updates and resolutions, we will take action on the public hearing, so we'll be having a vote on the 2 public hearings, followed by the chairperson's report. Now, under the chairperson's report, we're going to be voting to remove 1 board member. So, followed by acceptance of the January 6 minutes, and then we will be adjourned. Just to start with my remarks, first, as an item of good and welfare, I just express that if the board members and community could please keep Hardy Joe Long and his family in your prayers as he mourns the passing of his brother, which he recently buried in the South. Joe. Oh, okay. My condolences. So I'm going to just briefly report on some of the activities that I've been involved with. I'm going to focus on just a couple of things, because I'm sure the district managers can have a bunch of things, but 85 Lexington Avenue, a building on Lexington between Boston and Franklin. Myself and the district manager participated in 2 meetings regarding 85 Lexington Avenue. It's a building managed by a nonprofit group, BRC. It was a women's shelter, and the city recently converted it to a men's shelter. Just to give a brief historical perspective, the population of the shelter has changed several times. So prior to its last incarnation as a women's shelter, it had been a men's shelter when it first opened in 1986. We were told by the city that because of changes in demand and demographics, that there was a greater demand to supply beds for homeless men. First meeting we had was January 7th at Borough Hall. In addition to concerned community residents, there were representatives from the Department of Homeless Services, the Public Advocate's Office. In person was Council Member Lori Cumbo, several members of the Borough President's Office, including his Chief of Staff. As the meeting progressed, we were joined by the Borough President, Eric Adams. Residents were concerned about safety, cleanliness and sanitation, loitering, and an ongoing dialogue with the city and shelter operators. We were told by DHS and the shelter operator BRC that they will be establishing a community advisory board. We were also informed that the police were doing a security study of the facility. We were told that BRC indicated that they would not have any sex offenders occupying the facility. Second meeting regarding 85 Lexington Avenue took place at the facility on January 30th. Again, myself and Mr. Butler were in attendance. And at that meeting, it seemed like the temperatures had cooled a little bit. The residents were very concerned at first, but at the meeting, at the facility, they were introduced to the executive director of BRC, as well as several of the other staff members that will be on site. And Mr. Butler may have more to add about 85 Lexington. 1114 Fulton Street is the second issue that I'm going to mention. On January 30th, which is last week, the land use chair, C. Doris Penn, first vice chair, Ellen Miller, district manager Henry Butler, and myself met in Councilmember Cornegy's office with neighborhood residents that were affected by the new development at 1114 Fulton Street. Also present were Sharani Perry, the council member staff, and several representatives of the developer, including a couple of his attorneys, as well as site managers involved with the construction. Residents had expressed in social media and in other forums, they actually came to one of our land use meetings, and they were expressing that they had been disrespected by representatives of the developer, and they also had complaints about electrical outages and property damage. So at the meeting on the 30th, the representative of the developer agreed to issue a letter of apology, and they vowed to work with engineers and lawyers to resolve issues related to property damage. Borough board meeting, and this is the last thing I want to talk about. Borough board meeting took place on January 7th at 6 p.m. Borough board consists of all the community board chairs as well as all the council members. Public is welcome to attend. And I think we actually had one of the community board 3 members that did attend. The items on the agenda at the meeting were 3. First one was a presentation by Rebel. People familiar with Rebel? Starting to see the, okay. They're the electric moped sharing company. They stated that they have plans to double the number of employees in New York City, which currently stands at 200 over the next 2 years. Second presentation was from NYC Cares, which is a healthcare access program designed for New York City residents that do not have health insurance. It's an initiative starting out as a pilot. I think it started out just in the Bronx. An initiative of the New York City Health and Hospitals Corporation. We were told that the number of uninsured in New York City is about 600,000, and they're working to reduce the number of uninsured and provide primary care physicians to people. I think they're supposed to be in Brooklyn starting in February this month. The third presentation was by the Regional Plan Association, and they talked about the Tri-Borough Rail Line, which is a long-term plan to add 24 miles of tracks along existing rights-of-way to connect parts of Brooklyn, Queens, and the Bronx. All of the presentations given at the Borough Board meeting were informational, so no votes were taken. That concludes my remarks. We're going to move on to acknowledgement of elected officials and community partners. So if you could please be ready in this order and try to keep your remarks to 2 minutes. So we're going to start off with the 2 precinct commanders. First for the 79th precinct, that's Deputy Inspector Stretch. And then he will be followed by the commanding officer for the 81st precinct, Captain William Flynn. They're going to be followed by Jabril Jola from Public Advocate Jamadi Williams' office, followed by Candace Julian from Borough President Adams' office, followed by Shelton Jones from DA Eric Gonzalez's office.
Good evening.
Good evening.
For those who I didn't get the opportunity to meet last week, my name is Tim Stretch. I'm the new commanding officer of the 79th precinct. I started here about 5 days before Christmas, so familiar with Brooklyn. Been working in Brooklyn for the last 10 years. Prior to coming over here as commanding officer in Williamsburg for about 19 months, where me and Captain Glenn worked hand in hand when he was over at Greenpoint. So both moving a little bit south, coming over Flushing Avenue. Our relationship, I believe, is going to do great things in this community, and I'm really just excited to be here. And with that being said, does anybody have any questions at this point in time?
No, we don't do that.
No questions?
No, we don't take.
All right, well, I'll be on the side. If there are questions for me or the 79th precinct, just come see me on the side, or if you need an appointment in person, come see Officer Charles, Officer McLeod. I'm sure many of you know for a long, long time. Everybody who's in here obviously has the interest in making this a better community, and lives here every day, tell us what's going on out here. So if you have the time to come out to these meetings and show us support, I have time for you. So please, everybody who wants to come in and talk to me, just reach out to Officer Charles, Officer McLeod, and we'll get that done, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm Captain Billy Glenn. I'm the commanding officer of the 81st precinct. I got transferred. 81st to the house.
Yay.
Yeah, all right. I got transferred the same day as Deputy Inspector Stretch, so I'm excited to be here. I apologize for those of you who've heard my spiel already, but in sum and substance, I'm fortunate and excited to be here. I look forward to working with you and all that. I am not going to open up any questions. But on the second Tuesday of every month at 7 o'clock at 1958 Fulton Street, is a community council meeting. And everyone please write this down, buildtheblock.org. That's a website where you can find out what sector you live or work in. You can find out who your NCO officers are, so you can attend Build the Block meetings as well. So between the community council meeting and the Build the Block meetings, we'll field any questions you have. And of course, on the side, my community affairs officers and myself will be standing by for that. So thank you. I look forward to working with all of you. And on that, I will hand the mic back off. There you go.
Thank you. While we're waiting for our next speaker, I just want to make two quick announcements. We have Lyle Cornell, New York Presbyterian, they're out in the hallway doing a health and wellness survey, and also the census, and they just increased their pay rates, I think up to $28 an hour. They're also in the hallway. If anybody has any interest in either one of those two parties. So we're going to move on to the Public Advocate's Office, Representative Jabril Jalal.
Thank you, Chair. I'm going to be very brief. Again, my name is Jabril Jalal with the Public Advocate's Office. I'm the Brooklyn Borough Advocate. Three quick things. Number one, our office is hosting citywide bail info sessions. Our first one is going to be in Brownsville. Brownsville is going to be this Thursday, 6 to 8:30 at the Van Dyke Community Center. Again, we're going to have bail reform info sessions. It's very important that everyone come out. This Thursday, February 6th, 6 to 8:30 p.m., Van Dyke Community Center in Brownsville, 392 Blake Ave. We'll share the information with the community board to make sure that gets disseminated. Number two, pre-K. For families who had a child in 2016, you can apply for pre-K. So on this Wednesday, February 5th, so March 16th, if you need more information, visit nyc.gov/pre-K. Again, for more information, nyc.gov/pre-K. And the last one is to go to the chair's point. It's critically important that we all fill out the census. They just raised their rates, so I encourage you to tell friends, family to apply. Let's make sure we get counted. Brooklyn had the worst response rate last decade. We're talking billions of dollars, we're talking representation. We need to fill out the census. Thank you.
Thank you. So Candace Julian, followed by Representative Borough President Eric Adams, followed by Shelton Jones, representing the Kings County District Attorney, followed by Jacqueline Williams, representing Councilmember Robert Foreman.
Good evening, Bed-Stuy.
Good evening.
I was not at last month's meeting, so please allow me to wish you all a healthy, happy new year. Again, my name is Candace Julian, your liaison at the Office of the Brooklyn Borough President, Eric Adams. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to pick up the Borough President's Message of the Month. It highlights all of the policy initiatives and upcoming events at Borough Hall, such as the Notice of Property Value Workshop that we have in partnership with the Department of Finance, our annual Black History Month celebration, and free tax prep, which happens at Borough Hall every Tuesday and Thursday, appointments are necessary. There will be a public hearing at Brooklyn Borough Hall on Wednesday, February 12th, 6 p.m. on one of the land use items that's on your agenda tonight, DeKalb Commons. The Borough President welcomes your feedback on the project, so we will be making it out next Wednesday at Borough Hall. Also, community board applications are due on Friday, February 14th. Current board members, if you're unsure if you're up for re-election, please see me or check in with the office. I know some of the members in attendance tonight, or the community in attendance tonight, are always here and go to a lot of community meetings, so I encourage you all to apply. I do have a few paper applications left, like 2, but I encourage you to go to our website, brooklynusa.org, where you can fill it out there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Shelton Jones. I'm a representative from the Brooklyn District Attorney's Office, and I bring you greetings from Eric Gonzalez. I'm only going to use 1 minute because I have a colleague here today, ADA Gloria Rios, who's going to use the other minute to talk to you.
All right. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I've been warned, so this will definitely be under a minute. So, as I said, my name is Gloria Rios. I am the Chief of the Immigrant Affairs Unit at the District Attorney's Office. So you all know what we do is that we prosecute and investigate anyone who tries to scam or scheme our immigrants within our community. We don't care if you're documented or if you're not documented, we keep everything private and confidential. There are flyers up front that gives you a little bit more information about what we do, and more importantly, contact information. You can call, you can email us, you can contact us via the website, and you can also come in without an appointment. Thank you.
Okay, two quick announcements. We are having a Black History Month 2020 celebration. I thank the board. The flyer is in your packet, but there's also a flyer out front that you can share with your neighbors. That will be held a week from today, Monday, February 10th, and will be held at Brooklyn Law School, 205 State Street. We throw one heck of a party, so I really suggest you come out. It's good food, good entertainment, and a good time to hang with the DA's office. In addition, though it is not in this district, we are holding a town hall on deed fraud. There's a town hall on deed fraud that will be held next Tuesday, February 11th, from 6 to 8 p.m. at Maxwell High School, which is on 145 Pennsylvania Avenue. The flyer for that is also out front. We will have attorneys from our fraud unit who you'll be able to talk to directly and ask them questions pertaining to that, any information about deed theft or anything else. You can find out all of this information on our website, www.brooklynda.org. Again, www.brooklynda.org. You can contact me directly at 718-250-3146. Please leave a message, otherwise I don't when you call. Again, greetings from the Brooklyn District Attorney's Office. Have a great night. God bless.
What time is the Black History celebration?
It starts at 6 and it will go to 8. Okay, thank you.
Grace and peace, everyone. My name is Jacqueline Williams. I am the office manager and scheduler for the office of Councilmember Robert E. Cornegy Jr., and I bring greetings on his behalf. I just wanted to make an announcement that we have our third annual Valentine's Day Seniors Brunch. This brunch is to celebrate all of our jewels in the house. If you haven't done so at this time, we ask that you please RSVP for a seat, as it is, that line for that RSVP has definitely been increased. We already have 178 jewels already RSVP, ready to get down for this senior brunch. And I did hear Shelton state that they throw a good party at the DA's office, but ain't no party like a Bed-Stuy party. So we just wanted to let you know that. For all of those that are applying for discretionary funding, do know that the deadline is drawing nigh. I believe the close is February 18th. We are accepting meetings at this time. If you want to schedule a meeting, please email Sean Francis. That's sfrancis@council.nyc.gov. If you need further information, feel free to call the office. You can speak to myself, again, Jacqueline Williams, at 718-919-0740. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, thank you very much. If you could please be ready in this order, keep your remarks to 2 minutes. Representing Councilmember Alita Camp Samuel Kim Robinson, representing Councilmember Lori Humboldt, Tahira Maynard, representing State Senator Belman Montgomery, Stephanie Zinnerman, representing Assembly Member Walter Mosley, Gabrielle Torrance. Okay, while we're waiting, just had a quick fact check in real time. So the website for build your block, buildtheblock.nyc. Buildtheblock.nyc.
Just spoke on that. That's correct.
It's not buildtheblock.org, buildtheblock.nyc. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kim Robinson, and I represent Councilmember Lisa Antisano from the 41st District. On behalf of the councilmember, I bring you greetings. So I just have 2 quick announcements. Our office will be hosting a free tax day with Campaign Against Hunger, and that started February 18. There are flyers outside. And also, we have extended our immigration service 2 days out of the week, Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And if anyone is interested, our number is 718-953-3097. Again, we're extended our immigration service. We have a lawyer that comes in now 2 days a week to assist those who need either green card or whatever immigration issue that needs to be addressed. If anyone have any other questions, again, our number is 718-953-3097, and we're located at 400 Rockaway Avenue. And on behalf of the council members, we want to wish everyone a fabulous Valentine's Day.
Tahira Maynard here.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tahira Maynard, and I am the Director of Budget for District 35 with Majority Leader Lori Cumbo. I have two main announcements. The first one is, one happy Black History Month, everyone. And there is an event that's going to be held on February 13th at 7 p.m. at Mount Pisgah Baptist Church, 212 Tompkins Avenue. This is a dance event featuring Jamel Gaines' Creative Outlet. For those of you who may know, he was on the Stars of New York, and him and Majority Leader, they won the competition. Yes, let them win. And so they're having a dance event in support, in conjunction with the Brooklyn Borough President's Office and with the support of our office. And tickets are $20, and that event is Thursday, February 13th. If you're interested in attending, you can email them at info@creativeoutlet.org or call them at 917-500-8774. The other thing that's very important that I want to highlight is participatory budgeting. Some of you may be familiar with it. Participatory budgeting is a community-led initiative to have you all decide on how $1 million of our council members' $5 million is allocated. That money is totally decided by the community. We will have voting sites set up in schools and throughout some of the Brooklyn Public Library. Vote week is March 28th to April 5th. I distributed these, some may be outside. It has all the details about participatory budgeting. Most of the funding, the items that we have moving forward on the ballot are for schools, public schools in District 35, and we also have one item on the ballot that's for Wall Whitman Public Library. So please, I encourage you to vote for that. And we have some of these vote cards. Voting will be done online and by paper ballot. You can visit the website pbnyc.org/vote. And that will go live on March 28th.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. So again, if you could please be ready in this order. Stephanie Zimmerman, representing State Senator Belknap Montgomery. Gabrielle Torres, representing Assemblymember Walter Mosley. Maceo Kareem, representing Assemblymember Tremaine Wright, and Karen Sherry, representing Assemblymember Herb Dillon.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you?
All right.
On behalf of State Senator Belknap Montgomery, I'd like to wish you all a happy and cultural Black History Month. And for those of you who are of African descent, just a little reminder to check Black on the upcoming census, April 1st, but March 12th for real. So we have two announcements. The senator is happy to report that she has two bills that have been passed. One is her youth build program bill, and that bill will allow for programs that now create career pathways for young people to be codified in the Department of Labor. So this means the Department of Labor can actually put out RFPs and other people can apply to have an actual youth build program, and more students will have access to that program. If you have young people in your life and they're already in a program for construction, or they're looking for a career pathway, please ask them to look up a youth build program in the district. And if they don't find one, or if you are a provider, please think about applying to be one. The second one is the adoption bill. We're very happy to announce that now people who were adopted and didn't have any access to their birth parents' records will now have access to those records and be able to find out about their heritage and of course their medical records. So please pass the information around, it's very important. Thank you and have a wonderful February.
Thank you. If anybody's standing in the back, we still have a few seats in the front. We have about 5 or 6 seats up front.
Hi, good evening, everybody. My name is Gabriel Torres. I'm here representing Assemblyman Walter who's in Albany right now. I'm going to be brief. I really only have 2 announcements here. Outside, I left a bunch of these flyers. They're for his state of the district, where he can review all the accomplishments that he was able to get done legislatively in the 2019 legislative session, as well as his priorities for the 2020 legislative session. There will be food served there as well, so please come by. RSVP to our chief of staff, Davis Elliott, g@nysd.gov, or you can call our office. Again, those flyers are outside. Secondly, one of the main things that we're focusing on this legislative session is Census 2020. You guys have already heard there's a table outside for that. However, I just wanted to emphasize the importance of the census. As some of you may already know, census is vital for our community. Why? Because it provides funding for our hospitals, funding for our schools, funding for all the infrastructure within the district. That's very important because if we're undercounted, we get underfunded. So that's the first foremost reason. Second reason, political representation. So right now, as it stands, and if we continue on the current trend as one of the most underrepresented districts in the country, not just the state, country, we will lose 2 representatives in Congress, which is huge considering who's in office right now. So we want to continue to at least maintain our representation, possibly gain our representation since we are currently undercounted. So those are the 2 main reasons that we're focusing on the census 2020. So make sure when you get that letter in the mail that you call, you go online, do whatever you have to do to fill out that census. That's the census, and make sure that everyone in your household is counted, even if they're a baby. Make sure that everyone in your household is counted. This is very important to our family. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great last February.
Thank you. Just made it under the clock.
The day and the time of the district.
Oh, sure. So the date and time is going to be February 20th, which is a Thursday, between 6 and 8 p.m. It's going to be held at St. Joseph's College. The flyers are outside, and so if you don't get, there are no flyers by the time you get out there, feel free to call our office. We look forward to you via email or just giving you the information. Thank you so much.
Just to amplify one thing Mr. Torres said about the census, New York is called Empire State. And the reason is we had the most congressional representatives, I think up until the 40s or 50s. I believe we had 45, and we're down to 27 now. And we could go down to 25. So, very serious. Okay, we have Maceo Kareem to be followed by Karen Cherry from Assemblymember DeLange's office, followed by Nicole Bryan from the Brooklyn Public Library, Macon branch.
Good evening, my name is Maceo Kareem. I'm Great Reed from Assemblyman Wright. I'd like to bring your attention to a few things. First, we have the cease and desist forms that we are asking you and your neighbors to complete and return to our office. That's the sheet I handed out this one. If you don't have it, I can run to my office and get some more. It's for if you're being harassed to sell your home, please fill it out every week and send it to our office. Also, we have the Department of Labor, census, job applications, and parking calendars in the back. So please look at that. But also, the cease and desist form, please fill it out every week. Give it to your block association, give it to anyone you know who's being harassed, who owns a home that's hot in North Browns. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Karen Cherry. I bring you greetings on behalf of Senator Derek Lamar. I don't have anything to report. I just want to say good evening on his behalf. I ditto everything that our Boston's colleagues said. Have a good evening.
So we're gonna have Nicole Bryant from Brooklyn Public Library, followed by, Idris Abdullah from the 79th Precinct Council, followed by Daniel Fisher from the 81st Precinct Council, followed by, a representative from the Bedford Gateway Bid, Lynette Bell.
Good evening, Bedford.
Good evening.
Hi, my name is Nicole Bryan, and I am the new branch manager of the Maycomb branch. We're super excited to be here. You all have been so wonderful. I have met so many people. So I just wanted to come in and just officially say hello and come into the branch and come see me. I'm 3 weeks in, so I'm still learning and all the community and everyone about it, but I just wanted to say thank you for welcoming me. And I'm so excited to continue to have this branch be reflective of its community. Yes. Okay. So I have a few announcements. Census, we know we've heard it all night. It's very important, everyone. So quickly, Brooklyn Public Library is hiring some census navigators to help our patrons and community help get through the navigation process. And between March and April, 10 branches will have extended hours. So that way you can come in and fill out your census. Maycomb is one of the specific hubs for the census. So if you need to come in and get a little extra help, we'll be there to assist you. On this Saturday, you'll see the fly outside. There's the 1619 Community Collage Project that our friends group, and I see a few friends in the audience, our friends group is putting on. So come in on Saturday from 1 to 4, and you'll be able to fill out, help participate in the Community Collage Program. And Maycomb is a tax site. So Mondays from 11 to 5 and Saturdays from 11 to 4, you can come and get assistance with your taxes for free, okay? And here's my counterpart at the Bedford Library.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Elisa Richard, and I'm the branch manager of the Bedford branch. Really quickly, I just want to tell you about 3 things that's going on at Bedford. At the Bedford Adult Learning Center, we are offering the New York City Food Handler Certification. And to enroll, you must attend 1 registration session at Bedford. The first registration session is February 5th. We have Team Up to Read at the Bedford Library for children ages 5 to 9 to help increase their reading literacy. And we are also a tax site. AARP is offering tax preparation starting this Wednesday, February 5th, and on Fridays at 10 a.m. Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I don't know if I say Happy New Year. People be saying Happy New Year all the way until July and August. But anyway, my name is Idris Abdullah from 79th Precinct Community Council. It is very extremely important for us to remember these precinct council meetings. The precinct council meetings are so important. This is the glue between the community and our police department. Through these meetings, this is the way we communicate. We let the police department know what we like, what we don't like, what we like to see change, giving them ideas, taking their ideas, and trying to bridge that gap. So we must come out and support these precinct council meetings. Our president, Kim, works very, very hard and been working very hard to get this and keep this where it's at. So we need to continue supporting her and the 79th Precinct Community Council meeting. The 79th Precinct Community Council meeting is the February 26th at Brooklyn Job Corps, the corner of DeKalb and Nostrand, and it starts at 7 o'clock sharp, corner of DeKalb and Nostrand. But again, come out, bring your ideas, bring your neighbors, and we need to make sure that we're heard as a community through the, between the police department and the community. Again, the 26th of February, Brooklyn Job Corps, 585 DeKalb, 7 o'clock. Thank you.
He's being called right now for the precinct council. Lift every voice and sing children heaven.
Bro, you're on the clock.
Ring with the harmonies of liberty. All right. How y'all doing tonight, everybody? That's right. Happy Black History Month. On the clock or not on the clock. I'm black all day, every day. All right? That's how it goes. You too, Richard. All right. I give you all greetings. I'm Daniel G. Fisher, the president of the 81st Precinct Community Council, and I give greetings to all of you here tonight. It's so nice to see all of you. This is a wonderful packed house tonight. A great meeting because we have a lot of good information to go across, and it's been hit over the head, but the census is very important. At my meeting next week, we'll be also having somebody sign up, have somebody there trying to go for the census, and of course to have job opportunities for those who may want to work the census. Our meeting is 7 p.m. next Tuesday, February 11th at 1958 Fulton Street, the Multi-Service Center. Yeah, that was 7 p.m. 1958 at the Multi-Service Center next Tuesday, February 11th. We love to have you come out. We always have a special guest. Captain Glenn, as you heard, gives his spiel, but we got him with a good grill last month. So come on out, hear what he has to say. And my counterpart at the seminar is absolutely right. These meetings are very important. Our meetings take on a lot of information, but they also take on a safety slant. So we want to make sure that we stay safe as we stay together in one community and as we continue to make the community better. So I look forward to seeing all of you next Tuesday at 7 p.m. February 11th.
Okay.
1958 Fulton Street, the Multi-Service.
Okay.
Thank you. God bless everyone.
So I just want to actually add something. I don't know if you were aware, but there's been a spate of car vandalism events. I've heard that at least 5 or 6 incidents where 3, 4, 5, 6 cars have had their windshields smashed. This has happened in the last 3 weeks or so.
That is correct. Mostly on Stuyvesant Avenue and Jefferson, in the corridor of Madison, Stuyvesant, between like Madison and Hancock, and that stretch, and then also on Jefferson. And our police officers are right on it. Our neighborhood community officer, NCOs, are on it. So that's another thing. You come out and meet your NCO and know who they are and actually get their telephone number. So we do a lot of one-on-one, hand-in-hand. So although I like to have a little bit of humor with my introduction, we do very serious business at our meeting. So again, come on out and see me, Daniel G. Fisher, at the 81st Precinct Community Council. Thank you, Fisher.
Thank you. I just want to recognize Judge Betty Staten, who is the president of Brooklyn Legal Services. Judge Staten.
Yes.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Lynette Battle. I'm the Deputy Director of the Bedside Gateway Business Improvement District, and I'm going to be very quick. Some of you may or may not have heard that. Oh, I'm sorry. Normally I'm loud. Eric Adams, the Borough President, has a new initiative to help rid this Brooklyn of rats, and Bed-Stuy will be the ground zero for it. And that'll be in the next 4 weeks in Marcy Plaza. If it is successful, we will roll it out to more of the businesses and properties along the corridor. If you are interested and you are part of the bid, you can email me at Lynette, LYNETTE, @thebedsstuybid.org. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Battle. So we're going to move our agenda to the next item will be the district manager's report given by Mr. Henry Butler.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to try to be real quick, behind schedule. Let me give an update on the that coronavirus that's been in the news for the last couple of weeks. The email I got from the Department of Health. There are 3 people under investigation. They have symptoms and recent travel to China, and test results are pending at the CDC. Two new ones from yesterday. One person is over 60 years old and hospitalized with a condition at Flushing Hospital Medical Center. One person is over 60 years old and hospitalized with a condition at Queens Hospital. 0 confirmed cases of the novel coronavirus in New York City at this time. The district manager's monthly report is on the green paper, should be outside. Yes, Mr. Plateau went through some of the agenda items on my report. Just real quick on the HPD Bedside Housing Initiative, those who attended the last workshop a couple of weeks ago, what you found out was the property that's located next to the multi-service building at 1958 Fulton Street. There's potential for the footprint of that to expand greatly. At this time, it's current lot is 8,000 square feet, but now they are looking at putting housing on the playground area on the Herkimer side of the street because the school is no longer there. And they're also possibly looking to actually knock down the multi-service building and make that into housing and community space. So we're talking about if those two things happen, we are definitely increasing the footprint from 8,000 to possibly around 25,000 square feet. This is all city-owned land. So we do have the potential to actually bring more affordable housing to the district. The next workshop will take place sometime in March. They're looking to produce the RFP sometime May or June. Also, I don't know if y'all saw on the news that the Nostrand Avenue station at the Long Island Railroad, the elevators are finally working. That they rolled that out last Friday. So if you go to Nostrand Avenue station, want the elevator, go to Nostrand Avenue end, not New York Avenue end. Elevators on Nostrand Avenue. And the last thing I want to speak about, Mr. Plateau mentioned about 1134 Fulton Street. That is the big building on the corner of Fulton and Frank, right next to the Franklin Avenue shuttle. He mentioned about the meeting that we had with the developers and the project manager and the issues that the residents were having. Now those issues were going on for maybe a year and a half, but it didn't come to us until last month. So we were fortunate in this situation. We knew someone who had a relationship with the owner of the property because the resident did sign an agreement. And I'm just gonna say this to everyone, when someone's building next to you and you sign an agreement, because sometimes people have to come onto your property where they have to get permission from you. When you get an attorney, make sure you get an attorney that's used to doing those sort of agreements, real estate agreements like that. Don't get yourself somebody who's dealing with murder trial. They don't understand those type of agreements. Or divorce lawyer, okay? All lawyers don't know all things. They specialize, okay? So that resident is fortunate that we were able, because of the relationship with the owner of the property, that they're going to take care of whatever issues she may have. And there was an issue with Con Ed also, and we were able to get Con Ed to restore her electricity, but they were trying to say it wasn't them, but it wound up being Con Ed. Yes. So I just wanted to, please, so if you're having issues on your block, let us know ASAP. You have 301 and then call the community board office. As far as when we find out about the problem, marshals are at the door and people are being evicted. And then they want us to perform a miracle. It's not going to happen that way. Yeah, they want. Yeah, y'all want Georgia Bay State to perform a miracle. So okay, so that's it for me. We are behind schedule. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Butler. So it was actually one other community partner. They're going to speak very briefly. Banco Popular, about the state banking designation. Yeah, if you can keep your remarks in 2 minutes, please.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
We're actually no longer Banco Popular, we're Popular Bank. But we're just here very briefly to introduce ourselves. I'm the branch manager in the 1230 Fulton Street branch. We actually host financial literacy seminars. This is the reason that we're here tonight. Just to let you know that we are hosting these seminars, which range anything between mortgages to credit and life insurance. The 14th of February, we're gonna have a seminar on life insurance, the need for life insurance. Everyone is welcome to come. I have business cards at the table. The number to the branch is 718-778-9212. Thank you.
Thank you.
718-778-9212.
What time?
Between 2 and 3.
And you're Roger Brito? Thank you. Okay, so thank you very much. We're gonna move on to our informational presentations, and we have 3 tonight. So the first one is gonna be introduced by the chair of the Transportation, Sanitation, and Environment Committee, Mr. Gregory Glasgow.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Okay, this evening we have a presentation by the Department of Sanitation on the New York State plastic bag ban going into effect on March 1st, 2020. And our presentation is being given by our representative, Teresa Cunningham.
Good evening, everybody. As he said, my name is Teresa Cunningham. I work for Community Affairs at the Department of Sanitation. I will be super brief. And basically, if you guys have not heard, I have flyers. I will also be in the back if you have any questions. But there will be, starting March 1st, there will be a plastic bag ban taking effect in New York. So if you go grocery shopping or anywhere like that, they will no longer be giving you plastic bags. You will instead receive a paper bag, should you choose to do so, for a 5-cent fee. So if you want to avoid the fee, I brought a ton of orange reusable bags, and we encourage you, they've been handed out, Mr. Glasgow, and some of the community board members were handing them out. But those type of bags, reusable bags, that's what we encourage people to do. So when you go food shopping, when you have to do any of your shopping period, we encourage you to use a reusable bag. It's definitely more environmentally friendly. Yes. You have your hand up? When you have to speak up a little bit. Produce? No, the plastic disposable bag that they give you at the checkout. Those will no longer be used. Okay? Yes.
Is that 5 cents per paper bag?
Yes.
Yes. If you double up, you're gonna add to that bill. The bill's gonna go up. So, yes, if there are any additional specific questions, definitely let me know. I will be right outside at one of the tables. Like I said, I have flyers, and I believe there are still some extra reusable bags.
Thank you very much for your presentation. I know they already started informing consumers upstairs at Food Town about no more plastic bags. Thank you. Again, if people can please either put their cell phones on vibrate or silent. We're going to move to our next informational presentation, which will be introduced by Mr. Taiwan Anthony, Chair of the Economic Development Committee. All right, I'm sorry, it's a presentation being given by Mr. Taiwan Anthony. He's not going to be introducing anyone, he's giving the presentation. Thank you.
Sorry, I'm not submitting any SOA.
right now, but,
You're back.
okay, so they gave me 5 minutes, so we're gonna make this as quick as possible. So what we're gonna do with myself, and also Keith Morris, we're gonna give a quick, very brief overview process of how the SLA process works. So we know that community members may have questions, may have issues with some of the presentations that are presented. So we're gonna let the community know what the process is, what we go through, that these businesses are vetted before they get here. So we're gonna briefly go through that process, and if anyone has any follow-up questions later, please feel free to ask myself or Keith or any of the board members, and we will be happy to answer those questions for you. So first and foremost, we're gonna grab slide 1. All right, we're waiting. All right, so while we wait for that, just so everyone knows, the committee meets the first Thursday of every month. We meet the first Thursday of every month. So if anybody wants to come, hear what we talk about, hear what we discuss, vet any new businesses, please feel free to come. So really quickly, the first thing that we have is our boundaries. So a lot of times we get a lot of businesses coming to us, or a lot of questions coming to us. So our boundaries specifically here in Bedford, we are Flushing Avenue to the north, that's bordering Williamsburg. We are Classen Avenue to the west, bordering Clinton Hill. Back down to Broadway, which is Bushwick, East New York area, and then Atlantic Avenue to the south, bordering Crown Heights and Brownsville. That is our jurisdiction, you can say. So any business that is applying for an SLA license within those borders, they will come here. All right, questions? Oh, you know what? We'll take questions. Right after. All right, so here is just a brief synopsis of what all the businesses are required to bring. So when businesses come to us, it's not just, hey, we're here, this is why I want to open up shop, and this is it. This is the list of documents that they need to bring to us in order for us to move forward with them. So the first one is 5 copies of the application for the letter of support. So while our committee members are there, how many ever we have, we ask for that actual application. The second one, you have their completed SLA authority application. The third, you have a letter of support. Letters of support must be on official letterhead. So yes, we do ask for letters of support when these businesses come before us. And also we have, let's go down to B really quickly. I'm trying to move forward before they kick me off the stage really quickly. We have 2 letters of support from businesses within a 4-block radius. So if a business is open up, no, if you are on Class A, no, you cannot have a business 10 blocks down within a 4-block radius. That shows that you have support immediately within your area. We have a letter of support from schools within the 200 feet of the establishment, and we'll get later on, we'll get to that about our 200-foot rule and our 500-foot rule as well. So 4, we ask that for them to bring an exterior photo of the building, even though we do site visits, and Keith Forrest will talk about those site visits here in a little bit. At least 2 interior photos. So we do ask for that, all right? We have 6, a 500-foot rule statement. Most of the time, and just so everyone knows, most of the time these businesses, they do come with their attorneys. So there are attorneys that specialize specifically in dealing with these SLA applications with the rules and regulations. Some will come by themselves, but a lot of them do come with their attorneys as well. We're going to go down to 9. So number 9 is something that we just recently added to give it a little bit more right? And what I mean by that is, so this is a personal, so this will be a statement, right? So what we're looking for them to do is submit a statement. Why do you want to be here? Why do you want to open up here? What is your reason for coming to our community? Because let's face it, everyone knows that Bedford is a hot spot, right? Everyone wants to come here. Everyone wants to open up a business here. And just give the overview about what our committee, our philosophy is. We do not want to stop good businesses from coming here. We want to promote good businesses to be here. Because when we have good businesses, they employ people, right? So and that's what we want. We want people to have jobs. We want people to be employable. So that's pretty much the premise on that. You can go to the next one. So what this one is, and so what we have, and you can read it, and if anybody wants to request any of this information, just please let us know. We have what's called, within the committee, designated commercial corridors. And here's what that means. Within these corridors, Broadway, Fulton Street, and Atlantic Avenue, and Myrtle, so just so that everyone knows, we cannot tell a business when to close. We cannot tell a business when to close. We can only recommend to the SLA when they can stop serving alcohol. So they can stop serving alcohol at 2, but they can continue to party to 4 if they so want without serving alcohol. So what we've done with Mark and Keith and Abby and Ellen and some of the other committee members, we came up with 4 commercial quarters within our district that we will possibly allow a 4 a.m. closing time. And this decision was made due to the fact that we call these commercial corridors. So any corridor within Bed-Stuy on be it Tompkins or anything else, we will not allow that. And what we do, we go based off of the operator's experience, right? So if somebody wants to open up till 4 a.m. And they live on a residential block, most likely we will say no, right? Because it's a commercial block. I live on Putnam Avenue, and honestly, when I get home, I don't really want, cars. It's hard to find parking as it is. So these are the 4 commercial quarters that we designated that we will allow 4 a.m. alcohol serving cease time. And again, just to let everyone know, we cannot tell businesses when to shut down. Right? We send out recommendation to SLA. And just so everyone knows, what we vote on is not written in stone. SLA, they are a licensing agency, meaning that when their goal is to issue licenses. But we have a voice and we have a voice. So when we do not want a business here to serve alcohol to a certain time, the community should let us know that. The community should let the committee know what's happening. I'm trying to rush you off. Go ahead, let's go to the next. All right, so with that being said, all right, so I'm gonna let Keith Forrest talk about the process of the site visit. So we do actually make site visits to every business that comes before us, and I'll let you talk about that a little bit.
Good afternoon, Bedford. How are you? As part of the SLA license, as Taiwan said, we do perform site visits. What is a site visit? That's us actually going out to the establishment and seeing if they're a legit business. When we go into the establishment, we look to see where their egresses are. The egresses are the entrances in and the entrances that are leading out. We also look and see what they put on the application is true, if the square footage is true, and if they are, and if they have sound, if they need soundproofing. We also look and see whether or not where they are located on the block, and look and see what neighborhoods are around there. We also check and see what their signatures are. If they give us a signature sheet, we look at that signature sheet and see to make sure that those signatures are legit and that they are within the jurisdiction of the block. In closing, I just want to say that we do take this seriously. We are members of this community, and one of the things that we try and do is put regulations in place that are appeasing to the community. We are residents of this community. We are not allowing people to come into the community to take over the community. We're just allowing them to come into the community to enhance the community and bring economic services to the community. Thank you.
Go back to the last one. Go back to the last one before that. So as we end really quickly, yes, perfect. If you just scroll down a little bit. So this is an example, as we wrap up, this is an example of what is required. Just scroll down a little bit. So this is the actual business that came before us fairly recently. I'm not sure if you can scroll down, but this is what we asked for. We asked for signatures. These are actual signatures that live in a close proximity to the actual business. So if somebody says, hey, do they have signatures or do they have business support? Yes, they do, and that's the process. These are actual, so the business will actually and physically go out to their local radius, and they will garner signatures from residents that live locally, and they will also get businesses. So if you scroll down really quickly, you will see that those are actual letters of support from businesses. So in short, I'm going to wrap it up because I know we're behind schedule. This is just a brief overview, crash course of what the committee goes through, and the reason why I'm saying that
is because I know a lot of times when businesses come here, they're like, why y'all give them that? What's going on? What's happening with that? This is the process that the committee actually goes through. So really quickly, just before I end, everybody on the Economic Development Committee, just raise your hand really quickly. High, really high, perfect. All right, so these are the committee members that do great work. These are the committee members that go out to site visits on their Saturdays and Sundays, that take time away from their family and friends and doing what they have to do to actually make sure that these businesses are going to be good partners in our community. And the last thing that we do when I'm in here, I see you, the last thing I do that I in here is every business that comes before us, we refer them to what's called Jobs Plus. So Restoration Plaza, they have a program where they have folks that actually work. So we refer them to Jobs Plus. If they're going to need a busboy, if they're going to need a manager even to run their restaurant, why not stay central? Why not keep it in Bedford? Go on down to Restoration and see who they have that can be a good manager for your establishment. So in short, that's the process of the SLM.
Thank you very much for your presentation about the process for reviewing SLA applications. If you have any questions, you can see Mr. Keith Forrest or Taiwan.
Just for a point of clarity, we have more than 4 commercial strips. What they were saying, those are the 4 commercial strips that they will possibly allow at 4 in the morning. Okay, so just the DeKalb Avenue is a commercial strip. Lewis Avenue is a commercial strip. But those are the ones that they are trying not to allow them to serve the government until 4 in the morning. So
Lewis? No.
part of Lewis Avenue is a commercial.
Yeah. So before we get to the capital expense budget, we just had a couple of people that joined us. If they wanted to say anything, you have 2 minutes. So representing Assembly Member Latrice Walker is Reverend Eddie Perrine. And we also have District Manager Darlene Bailey. District Leader Darlene Bailey.
Good evening, everyone, to Flat Toes, Mr. Butler, to each one of my father's children. Just would like to let you know to please keep our Assemblywoman in your prayers. You know, she's up in Albany fighting for bail reform. You know, that's a hot topic right now. It's a hot topic right now. So we want to continue to ask for your support of that. Just would like to let you know that caucus weekend is coming up, and we do have a bus going up to Albany on February 15th. If you have a desire to get on that bus at 6 a.m., you can call the office at 718-342-1256. Again, 718-342-1256. Every third Saturday, we usually have our advisory board meetings. Because we're going up to caucus next weekend, this weekend will be our advisory board meeting. So that advisory board meeting will take place at our office at 400 Rockaway at 10 a.m. All right, take care, have a great evening.
Thank you, Reverend Kareem. District Leader Bailey.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I'm Honorable Darlene Mealy of the 55th Assembly District. Just want you to know that my office is open every Wednesday now. We was doing Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We give the election jobs, and we just had the new county leader of Brooklyn. Do y'all know her?
Yes.
Ranice Brashad. She came to our political club, the first club in Brooklyn. She stopped by last Saturday. And I must say, if you're not involved in any club, I don't know what you're doing. It's time to really, I just came from a meeting, they said, it's either you step up, shut up, and get busy. Because right now, things are changing, and we need people to get the jobs at Board of Election. We did, census said that was about the highest people that they had get their jobs on that Saturday. We had the census there, about 50 people got online, and already about 4 of them said that they had the job. So please, that's $28 an hour. And remember, I have the jobs at Board of Elections, and I can't fill half of them. Is that fair? What's going on? So I hope you could come. My office is 1757 Union Street. The number is 917-833-4281. And I want to thank everyone who came to our new Grassroots Democratic Club Super Bowl party. Thank you, Mr. Henry. We didn't see you. You said he was coming. But we had a great time. Yeah, I'm cold. And just know our political club men's council, they're having an after-work mix-up on February 27th at Hotel RL. That's on Broadway and Malcolm X. The hotel, please come on out. We've been really doing a great job, and the men are really helping the community. Come see what they're doing and get involved. And I'm Darlene Neely at 1757 Union Street, corner of Utica over Conrad Bakery. How many of you know about Conrad Bakery? So y'all better be clapping when y'all coming to see me too. I'm right over Conrad Bakery. Thank you so much. I'm Honorable Darlene Neely.
So we can move on. Next. Everybody hear me? Okay, the next agenda item will be a presentation on the capital and expense budget. And it will be given by two budget coordinators, Anthony Usaret and TJ Wilson.
Watch out for the sword, right?
Good evening, everyone. I'm TJ Wilson.
Anthony, Mr. Back in October, the board submitted its budget request to the city agencies. And at the beginning of last month, the agencies got back to us with their responses. So we're gonna go over what some of the responses were. Just a brief overview. As you all know, the fiscal year is from July 1 to June 30th. So this budget request is for the fiscal year that begins this year on July 1st. Right now, we're in section 4, which is like the bottom left, where there's an opportunity for communities to give feedback on the preliminary budget responses. This is the second opportunity for public input. The next one will be a response to the executive budget, which is informed by this round. So let's.
Down.
Just so to go over what we submitted 22 capital requests and 2 for continuing support items. You've listed are the top 5 priority requests from this year. They include more affordable housing for middle-income households, funds to overhaul 13th Regiment Armory, which is on Marcus Garden Boulevard, renovation of St. Andrews Park, upgrade of Notion Avenue Station, and conversion of the K pool to year-round facility. We also submitted 25 expense requests, and you'll see they include expansion of the 9-hop affordable housing program, more building inspectors, funding to combat the use of K2 and SPICE, more staff to combat dumping and dirty sidewalks, and expansion of SYP. These are the committees. Go back. And this is a breakdown of the request by committee submission. So 13 of the capital requests were handled through the Parks and Arts Culture Committee, 4 from Transportation, Sanitation, and Environment,
It also includes 2 continuing support, which are the sanitation garage, which has already been funded, and trench restoration on Hancock Street between Marcy and Tompkins. 3 were for the education and youth services, and 2 for housing and land use. For the expense request, 6 for economic development, 5 for education and youth services, 4 for housing and land use, transportation, sanitation, and environment offset for health and social services had 3, and then landmarks, parks, arts and culture, and senior services all had 1. So here's what the responses are so far. So 4 of the requests are either funded or funding exists for it. They include two trench restoration projects, one on Jefferson Avenue between Stuyvesant and Malcolm X, and another on McDonald Street between Stuyvesant and Malcolm X. There's also funding for a mobile computer lab for local schools, and renovation of the Charlie's Playground. The number that's associated with each is a representation of the priority level that we placed in it. So as you see, the trench restoration was number 8 for Jefferson Avenue. 3 of the requests were sent back for more information. And I'll just explain a little bit what the chart shows. So it shows on top where the responses fall across 5 categories. And then it includes what's been what the funds that have been the project and where the agency is going to seek funding. So that's the first column, and then it also shows where there's no agency funding. And then the other columns we represent the top 5 where they landed. So you don't see in the second column for more information. Those who are in the top 5, they'll be referred back to the committees. For further study, it includes our priorities 1, 2, 4, and 5 projects. And then there was no agency funding request for renovation of the kitchen at King Park, renovation of the children's play area at PS3, and renovation of the children's play area at MS35. And finally, 8 of the requests were told us to contact our local elected officials for funding. One of those includes the renovation of the St. Andrew's Park. As for the expense requests, there are 4 items that were identified as previously funded, which include more building inspectors, the expansion and enhancement of SYT, expansion and enhancement of beacons and cornerstone programs, and expanded services for the landmark preservation convention. 8 requests were identified as will be trying to be accommodated through existing programs. So the agency will not expand funding, but will try to accommodate the requests that we made through switching around kind of how they allocate resources. Those include items that will be fully accommodated, which are the expansion of NIHOP, more rental subsidies, and expansion of job training for young adults. 5 are going to be partially accommodated. There are 6 items for further study. No new funding has been allocated for combating K2 and spice and other synthetic can't get the word out right now. Just cannabinoids. I'm sorry. And more staff to combat dumping and dirty sidewalks. And then 5 items were identified as going through a different funding process, which means that there will be an RFP released and local groups will be told to apply for funding separately. So what are we doing next? So the next we are invited to provide feedback. So the community, the full report will be posted on the board's website and on Facebook. And so everyone will have an opportunity to review. We invite people to review and then attend the committee meetings that are relevant for the things that you're interested in and provide feedback. The committees will then submit feedback to the board of office, which will submit it to the city agencies. And the next opportunity for public feedback will be at the response to the executive budget, which is in May. And finally, The budget process is year-round phenomenon, so beginning in the late spring, the committees will start working on their requests for fiscal year 2022, which starts next July 2021.
Thank you very much. Yes, teacher.
And I want to alert the chairs of the committee that when we sent out the budget, I want to say on Friday, I think Friday or Thursday of last week. So you guys need to take the time this month to review it on committee level. And again, we encourage participation from the public to go to these committee meetings. Schedule of the committee meetings is front page, front and center. And read a response as soon as possible, because at the end of this month, that's not even the end, but yeah, the 25th of February, we have to respond. So guys, please take this at your committee meetings this month. Thank you.
Thank you, and I just would like to publicly thank our two budget coordinators, TJ Wilson and Anthony Busseret, for all the work they do in monitoring the city budget. And really, where the money goes, that's a sign of what your priorities are as a people. So thank you so much for your work. We're gonna move on to our public hearings, and we have two. The first is coming out of the Housing and Land Use Committee, and an introduction will be given by the Chair of the Housing and Land Use Committee, C. Doris Fink.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Our public hearing this evening is in the matter of an application submitted by the Department of Housing Preservation and Development, HPD. 1, pursuant to Article 16 of the General Municipal Law of New York State. 4A, the designation of property located at 633 to 639 DeKalb Avenue, Lot 1774, Lot 74, 75, 76, and 77, 648 to 654 DeKalb Avenue, Lot 1779, Lots 22, 24, and 26. 1180. Yeah. 1187 Fulton Street. Lot 2000, Lot 43. As an urban development action area, and B, urban development action area project for such area. And 2, pursuant to section 197C of the New York City Charter for the disposition of such property to a developer to be selected by HPD to facilitate development of 3 buildings containing an approximate total of 84 affordable residential units and commercial space. Our presentation will be given by Decatur Marshall, Nick Smith, planner HPD, and Gordon Bell, Bedford Stuyvesant Restoration Trust.
This is you, right?
Good evening, everyone. Hi, my name is Makita Marshall Smith. I'm a Brooklyn planner at HPD in the Office of Neighborhood Strategies. And with me today is Lynn Zhang, who is the Director of Brooklyn Planning at HPD, and members from the sponsor team who will introduce themselves shortly. Tonight, we would like to share with you an exciting project, DeKalb Commons, which will bring quality affordable housing to your community board. HPD is requesting the disposition of 8 city-owned lots for the development of 3 new construction buildings under the HPD Extremely Low and Low Income Affordability, also known as ELLA program. ELLA funds new construction of low-income multifamily rental projects in which a minimum of 70% of the units are at low income rates. The proposed project was selected through the NIHOP and NCP Request for Qualifications, or RFQ, which was released in December 2014. The RFQ's goal was to create the development of home ownership and rental opportunities through small homes and mid-sized rental buildings. Under the RFQ, St. Nick's Alliance and Bedford Stuyvesant Restoration were chosen in April 2017. The proposed project will result in a total of 84 units with a mix of studios, 1, 2, and 3 bedroom units, all affordable to households and individuals up to 80% of AMI, which is roughly about $59,760 annually for an individual person, or up to $76,880 annually for a family of 3. So that's what the 80% AMI tier is. The proposed project was certified regular in December 2019, and HPD is requesting the following actions for these 3 city-owned sites. Designation of an urban development action area, project approval of an urban development action area project, and disposition approval of city-owned property, Brooklyn Block 1774, lots 74 through 77, Brooklyn Block 1779, lot 22 through 26, and Brooklyn Block 2000, lot 43.
Thank you very much.
DeKalb Commons is 3 development sites comprised of 8 vacant city-owned lots in the Westside neighborhood of Brooklyn Community District 3 and City Council District 36. As you can see on the map, 2 of the sites are located across from each other on DeKalb between Nostrand Avenue and Marcy Street. Here. So one is right next to the Kosciuszko Pool, and one's across from the Kosciuszko Pool. And the third site, and smaller site, is on the commercial corridor of along Fulton Street, which is right over here. So now I will turn the presentation over to the development team, who will provide more details on the project.
Thank you. Thank you so much, HPD, for your partnership in this. This is a chart that's just going to tell you who St. Nick's is and who Restoration is. What we care about is that St. Nick's is an established developer who knows how to get it right because they stay in compliance. And we watch them, the city watches them, the independent review boards watch them. Restoration, we've done the same thing. We built several thousand units of housing. Right now, I'm working on acquiring 2,256 units of housing from NYCHA to fix it up and to offer social services to people who really need it. NYCHA housing is not always a good situation. We gotta lift them up. You can't just fix the building. You gotta give people opportunities for the kids, for them, for job readiness, and regular help because they need it. So Restoration's been doing this for over 50 years, as you might know. I know people who are in this room who've been to our galas, who've been to our committees, who work with us all the time and volunteer their efforts. But we appreciate it because we cannot do it alone. I know Party Joe Long cares about making sure we provide affordable housing to every level of the folks here in Bed-Stuy. And this project attempts to do just that. We have 13 units for formerly homeless folks. And we have houses that should include folks who make all the way up to 80% of AMI. Putting our kind of people together in our community and managing the building well is the goal of this project. How we get it done. I'm gonna get my partners from St. Nick's to talk about some of the details, but you need to hold us to account for, are we doing the right job and getting the right mix? Are we working to get the right subsidy from HPD? Are we working hard to get money from our good friend Eric Adams, Brooklyn Borough President, and our good friend Councilman Corning? because we can't make the numbers work and still offer affordable housing. Now, you may hear some objections from time to time about anybody doing development. Ty Anthony up here, a young community leader, he seems to be the bookend for Harvey Joe Long. You've been doing it for how many decades? Ty's 5 decades, and Ty's your first decade, right? Well, there's always going to be people who say, it's not perfect, it's not perfect. I want you to know that one of these sites was used as a parking lot by Eddie Freeman and his family, who own a restaurant in that area, both in, Nostra and DeKalb. And they rented that space for a period of time. They rented that space for a period of time. And then they stopped paying rent. And the city decided, independently of anything we've done, to make sure that this housing could get built. What's the highest and best use of this land? The city independently reviewed the situation with Eddie and his family. Just so you know, I spent time personally with them. I've had the business team here at Restoration go see if we could help their restaurant. And we asked them to share some information so we could introduce them to financing partners. So Restoration is not just about real estate. We're not just about helping small and medium-sized businesses. We're about that 360, helping the building, helping the community, and helping the individuals in it. That's what we're trying to do, and we do it every day. This project is not perfect. It's a project. It's 3 separate buildings. One of the buildings has significant community space, which I'm very happy about. But we gotta find a way to make that community space relevant to both groups in 2 different buildings on DeKalb. We need to create access, and yet we need to create safety so people can move in and out of that community space at the right way. We've got children's facilities behind the units. We want children playing every day after school. You know, Ms. Ellen was very consistent in our land use committee meetings to say, we've got to do a shadow study because you're going to cast a shadow with your new building on the pool. What's that look like? And I think it was important to get that work done because we know there's going to be a shadow. Anytime there's going to be a building, there's going to be a shadow. But this shadow is going to interfere with the pool probably after 4:35 p.m. till the rest of the summer evening. Some people might call it a relief. Ron Hornby and I discussed it. He said, I think we need housing 365 days a year, and we certainly enjoy the pool for some of the summer months. So we're here to discuss this with you and be open to questions and hear what you're having to say about this particular project. I'm going to call up my partner Phil to walk through some of the details of the actual buildings. And keep in mind, this is a project we believe serves the community, but you will ultimately comment and be the judge of that.
Forward, back, window, down forward, ups, back. This one's. Good luck with that. Right here's
Thank you, everybody. My name is Philip Hoffman. I work for the St. Nick's Alliance. I'm developing, as Gordon said, the project with Restoration. And as Makita said, this is going to be a rebuilding project, scattered over Bedford Stuyvesant that we're proud of. So this here, the first slide is the location and context of the first building, 633, 639 DeKalb Avenue, which is north of DeKalb Avenue between Nostrand and Marcy Avenue. It's near the G train and multiple bus services. It's down the block from the Kosciuszko Pool, as stated. It's near various public schools, playgrounds, community garden, cultural arts center, a Home Depot, supermarkets, and other local businesses. So this is a rendering of the first site, 633, 639 DeKalb Avenue. As you can see, this is a 37-unit building. There'll be 4 studio, for now, right now, we have 4 studio units, 11 one-bedroom units, 16 two-bedroom units, and 6 three-bedroom units. Some of the features, as you can see from the rendering, is this solar panel. This is going to be a passive house design, which is a very tight building in terms of energy efficiency. It'll be extreme insulation, weather stripping, energy efficient mechanical system. The benefits to the tenants will be better air quality, reduced noise pollution, reduced energy costs, to name just a few things. This project for both buildings has received a NYSERDA award for this passive house design as well, and for the benefits of to the people there. This is the site plan of the 633, 639 DeKalb Avenue. As you can see, there's a rear play area and sitting area for the tenants. And you can see the solar panels on the rooftop. This is the ground floor plan of the site. As you can see, it just shows the typical layout of the units and accessible areas and ADA unit. This is the second location, which is adjacent to the Kosciuszko Pool. This is 648, 654 DeKalb Avenue, and is south of DeKalb Avenue. It's down the block, so it shares the same local businesses and things there. This is a rendering of the second building, as you can see it adjacent to the pool. This will be a 45-unit building. 6 studio units, 19 one-bedroom units, 17 two-bedroom units, and 2 three-bedroom units. And again, this building will be to passive house design with energy efficiency. This is the site plan of the building. You can see the rear area for playground and sitting for the tenants, and the solar panel. And this is the ground floor plan for the second site, 648. And as you can see, this one has a shared community center, as Gordon alluded to. This will be for both DeKalb sites and will be open for tenant use. And each building will have a laundry room as well. This is the third site, which is 1187 Fulton Street. This one, it won't be to passive house design, but will be an energy efficient building. I'm sorry, this is between Spencer Place and Bedford Avenue. It's near the A and C train, multiple city buses, near public schools, within a few blocks from several playgrounds and the Brooklyn Children's Museum, various supermarkets and other local businesses, and is in walking distance of Community Core 3 and as well Restoration. This is a rendering of the 1187 Fulton Street building. It'll be a 3-unit building over a commercial space, about 1,200 square feet. And this is the site plan and ground floor plan showing the commercial space on the first floor. It's a narrow building. And this is a wrap up of the actual project itself. It's a 3-building project, about 84 residential units, 1 super unit shared between both the DeKalb buildings, and approximately 1,187 square feet of commercial space. A total of 10 studios, 31 bedroom units, 36 two-bedroom units, and 83 bedroom units. At current, this is the proposed mix of the rents and AMI limits for the project. As Gordon alluded to, we have about 13 homeless set-aside units, 1 super unit, 17 units at 40% of AMI, 17 at 50% AMI, 17 at 70% AMI, and 20 at 80% AMI, a total of 85 units. And this is the development summary. This is a not-for-profit-led development team between St. Nick's and Restoration. We're very proud to assist the community in this, in the Bedford-Stuyvesant area. This will be 3 new construction buildings with approximately 84 to 85 affordable units. And I'm going to pass this over to Gordon now to lead back.
Thank you, Bill. So when you think about this, 3 separate buildings, 1 project. We care about making sure it meets a number of the needs of the community. And as we endeavor to build a project, we better make sure to use some of the workers and businesses as suppliers to this project. So this is not our first rodeo. In a lot of ways, you can lose traction on a big project. A lot of ways you can get confused about it. You fight about little things. But the big things is that if there's gonna be economic development, the community should be served. At the beginning of the project, in the construction of the project, in the living of the project, even to this business we're calling passive house, which is extreme energy efficiency. If we can live more cheaply and more comfortably and with safe air quality, we can build a better community. We can't do it right if we started off wrong. So we're thinking about these things now, and we're asking for your input. So in the next few minutes, we'll be happy to ask questions and have discussions.
Thank you very much for your presentation, Mr. Calcom. So at this point, we're gonna take, questions from the board members and from the public. We have a couple of mics, another mic here.
1, 2, 1, 2. Glasgow?
Greg Glasgow from the board. My question is, which organization is going to be responsible for the long-term, day-to-day management of the facility?
My colleagues at St. Nick's will.
Use your mic.
Thank you.
We're gonna need another mic.
My colleagues at St. Nick's already have built a company to take care of over 2,000 units locally. And so that property management company will be contracted. It will also be monitored by restoration. So we're not leaving. We are partnering in this business from the beginning to the end. So if there are any questions and issues, we still care. By the way, restoration, we do own and operate a number of buildings here, including Green Avenue Senior Citizens Project, which I hear from my senior citizens that have my cell phone number. I hear from them all the time. I know when the elevator over the holidays was not acting right. So we care about getting it right.
Okay, some other questions? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, hi. What exactly?
What's your name?
Sorry, Kenneth Ngong.
Thank you.
What exactly is the structure of this partnership?
You're referencing the St. Nick's and Restoration Partnership?
Yes.
Based on our committed teams and capital, we have a 20% interest in restoration and an 80% interest by St. Nick's. That means they're putting up the funding and the risk position, and restoration is putting in expertise and guidance into the process. So we are both partners. We both have, by the way, restoration has some veto power in this situation, but we have not risked capital. Does that answer your question?
That's great. Two, so St. Nick's is the developer, really, and you are, the restoration is you're providing the support services.
We're a co-developer, so we actually we are a co-developer in the project, and we're not taking financial risk of development, if that makes sense. We're not putting capital up.
I understand. So which of the buildings are you developing?
The ownership structure is 80-20.
Okay.
With St. Nick's taking the financial risk.
I understand that. What I'm saying is, who is the actual developer of this?
The joint venture that we both own, the one company that we both own is the.
Okay, so you both own, all right.
Okay, we're gonna take the next question, and please give your name.
Hi, quick question, Simone Pratt, thank you for sharing the proposed unit mix. You quickly went over what 40%, 50%, 70, and 80% AMI is. Could you please could you please explicitly say what that means in monetary terms?
Let's call our HPD colleagues to give that description. HPD manages this process, and HPD has made firm recommendations about the mix since we started the project.
Sorry, let me be clear, can you just repeat it, because you said it so quick.
No, let's post it and also discuss it.
You want the mix, the unit mix, or the numbers that relate to it?
So
Gotcha.
40% AMI of one bedroom is how much?
Okay. Okay, I can go through this.
One bedroom. Thank you.
That
was my next question.
Right. And the salary range.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, actually, yes.
How big families are?
It should have been on the slide.
So first there's the homeless set aside, and the homeless units for individuals and families the income range will be from 0 annually to 37,140 annually. That's for the homeless, and the rent will range from $215 a month to $618 a month. So that's the range for that tier. For studio units will be affordable to individuals and families with incomes ranging from $27,640 a year to $57,519 a year. And the rent range for the studio units will range from $696 a month to $1,176 a month.
That's how many apartments?
85.
So the whole project is 100% affordable. So is that what you were asking?
Yeah.
There's no market rate in this one.
One bedroom was, the salary had to be $59,000.
So that was where you had like a family of 3 people. That was.
No, you said.
For one bedroom?
One bedroom. The salary had to be $59,000.
We need the sheet.
It's not, you don't have it as a slide. Because it's hard to.
Yeah, we need the sheet, slide.
Okay. Pull it up so that everyone's.
Okay, while she's trying to pull up some information on the AMI ranges, we're gonna take another question.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Aaron Freeman from the Freeman family, Gordon mentioned from Sugar Hill. My dad is here, Eddie Freeman, my sister Keisha Freeman. My question is, you know the uphill battle we have, we've been paying for his property.
Yes.
Basically for 20-something years. So at the end of the day, I wanna know, was us spending over 120-something million on these lots, doing surveys, building walls for the community that are separated property, us hiring people. I'm hiring first-time offenders. My sister works she's a teacher at Boys and Girls High School. Even though we went to court and we lost the battle, but at what point and what position are we gonna play in this project? That's all I'm asking. Like, how do we get a chance to be involved? We spent numerous amount of money, like you said, and we lost.
Give me a
But this
second.
project is still going on, and we're not a part of it. We've been here 40 years in the neighborhood, Sugar Hill, everybody's familiar with it. So at the end of the day, I wanna know what role during, why didn't we have a chance in development? Why don't we have a chance during that part? And what did we do after that? We didn't get any parking, we didn't get anything. We
Okay, so
understand we need
let's
more.
have the developer respond
Yes,
to your question. Thank you.
Good evening, sir. Good evening. Good evening. We spent some time together, we worked together on figuring out ways that we can help introducing you to some capital sources for your business or other business ideas. I wasn't a part of you working on these lots for many years, but I know it's real. I wasn't here when you had a chance to bid on the property and you didn't close the deal with New York City. I wasn't involved in that, but I know that was real. I wasn't involved when you met with Carnegie, the borough president, and they worked to try to figure out what to do. And I don't know what you came up with, but it seems to me they were not able to tell you anything more encouraging than you didn't move to buy the property when it was offered to you.
It was never offered.
I was told you didn't bid, and I was just told that third hand. I have no knowledge, I wasn't there.
I have the
Okay, does the city want to add anything to that?
So these lots were part of a public RFP process, right? Which means that the RFP is reduced to the public and anyone can submit a proposal. So I'm not sure, did you guys submit a proposal?
We wasn't even aware of the process of that.
They were doing it in time.
Well, we released the RFP, I think it was 2014, right? So in 2014, that's when we released it publicly where anyone could apply to build this development site through the request for proposal.
Okay, we've had this problem for 22 years, and we've been
Okay,
waiting.
what's your name, sir?
My name is Andy Freeman from Sugar Hill Restaurant Supper Club. I own a lot of property here. I've been in this neighborhood since 1957. I have approved plans here. HBD gave us permission to do all this work on this property. And they would, as soon as this property was Europe, they would put it in my name. I have the papers here to prove. So if you can't trust HBD and you can't trust your community, I'm asking the community to stand up for us. I've been here since 1957. I've employed more people in this neighborhood than anyone else for 40 years. So I'm asking the community to stand up for Sugar Hill, because they've already knocked down our street parking, to take that down for bicycle lanes, okay? So now we put in $1,600,000. If they don't want to work with us on this property, give me my $1,600,000 back with interest. With interest. My daughter.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. My name is Akeisha Freeman, and I stand here on behalf of my father and my brother, our Sugar Hill legacy. At this time, many of you are affiliated with our business. You come into contact with us. We are a community-based business, from pouring into our children, interning, to supporting our churches, our local organizations. All around this city, we have been working tirelessly, effortlessly, investing in property that we were not even offered. Now tell me how that can be ethically correct. And then we're proposed this as if we weren't willing to do anything with that property, yet we were not offered, after he said, after paying for it for over 20 years. I can't see the liberty in that. Where's the freedom? Where's the liberty in this property right now? With all that's going on in this neighborhood, we want a fair deal. That's what I'm saying. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. City, like to respond?
Hi, everybody. I'm Lynn. I work with the at HPD. And I think, like Gordon said, this has been happening for the last 30 years. So obviously, none of us were part of those conversations and where that was left off, exactly the details of it. But this was also, it was settled in court. So I think whatever conversation we need to have is, we'll need to, we can't air this out in public at this moment. And at the same time, the same days and Restoration did go through a competitive process, like Nikita said. We, through competitive process, what we're looking for is capacity to build affordable housing. And clearly, we have two partners here that has demonstrated that they can build housing, they can manage housing. And what our interest as a city is to make sure that housing gets built and that we have quality units for residents of this community to move into. So I don't know the conversations have been.
So we do agree that there's a conversation needs to be had.
Well, I think it was settled in court, so and I'm not.
Okay, so we're gonna take our question. Any other questions?
Got the back here.
Okay, how you doing? Happy New Year. My name is Reginald Sweeney.
Thank you.
Listen, Restoration, St. Louis State's Rise, to give you the number of what, NHB, what is the RFP in respect to bids? You have a development team. Are you following the mandate of the city of New York and HPD's process? And when are you planning on putting out the bids, the documents? Have you considered following the city's MWD rule? Is it a union type of particular project? Give me some detail, break it down for everyone to know. If you have 3 building projects going on, you know construction, I know construction. You know what goes on. You know we don't get in. So with respect to HPD, is it city, federal, state money? Is it all of that coming in to the pot because you're not coming out of the pocket full front? But if you follow the city rules and regulations for people to get their opportunity, what does that seem to do? What's going to the street, when that RFP is out, which organization, whether it be city and partnership, is going to be handling this? It seems like the big brothers are able to provide that type of equivalent, whatever it goes, then maybe you can solve the problem by them not getting the big shot. Not for the business. You guys fail there.
So what's the MWBE plan?
Not asking particularly about the MWD plan. I want to know, when are the drawings going to start hitting the street? What is your process of this letting whoever wants to bid the work? Because you can't build it with a high scale, and everybody knows who's working on these jobs, and they really don't know. And don't do a Boston pony show with respect. I respect your numbers. So I told you, I said, I'm gonna speak, I gave you the opportunity. Have something that contractors can come, because if you already let these projects out, if you already got your son, if you already got that, it's almost a waste of time to even think that, because you can keep the tax base strong in this district while the businesses get you shot.
He has a question. He has a question.
He wants to end it.
I guess I'll let the developer.
While he goes through your website, do you have to be a certified?
So right now, we're really early in the pre-development phase, right? So this is the project we're putting forward, we need the public approval. And then at the end of that, you know, they don't have the land, this is still city-owned land. So they need to make sure they're hitting all the HPD and city requirements because it will be city finance. It's public money, it's public land. So there are a bunch of, you know, regulations and requirements they need to hit. And one of them is MWBE build-up program that we have. So for a project of this size, you know, the city's investing a lot of money into it. So there is at least a 25% requirement of money, of funds that have to go to MWBE firms. So that is something that there's a compliance office at HPD to make sure that they're doing that and hitting that.
49.
So, but I think on the outreach, maybe Gordon or Philip can talk a little bit more about that and how you plan to, you know, reach out to the community.
We understand exactly what you're talking about, and I just did years back, the rehab work on Green Avenue. So all wind systems, roof, boiler, electric, you name it, plumbing. We work hard to try to hire local folks. We put together a whole company that just hired local folks, which is a lot of work for me. We hired about 74 guys over the course of 2.5 years, ex-offenders, local folks, guys who were tough to employ, because that's the way we wanted to do that project. We have a commitment as restoration to try to do projects the right way. So you know we're gonna hit our 25% number. I can tell you this right now, we do not have a general contractor yet. That means we don't have subs yet. So that means we are going to make this process very transparent, and you will see who we're inviting to the party. And we're gonna pick the best partners, and we love to pick partners that are from this community and represent us.
Okay, so we have another public, we gotta move on. We have another question here, sir. We got another question.
Let him finish what he's saying.
I believe, I'm sorry.
And I'm sorry, what is your name, sir?
My name is Brother Raymond. Sorry for your flight. I remember you from Pepper Brothers Bank. I think we have to support Sugar Hill in its effort because they've been here when the place was called Pigsty. Now everybody wants to be a part of it. I think the elected officials sold you down the river. There's 3 shelters. The shelter on Lexington Avenue is the family shelter. You need to tell me. You only got 1 3-bedroom apartment for a family to come out of the shelter, number 1.
Right.
What about Section 8? You know, 1 family to come out of a shelter when you got a men's shelter on Marcus Garvey. You got a family shelter on Lexington. You got another shelter on Bedford Avenue. You mean to tell me the majority of the people that's in the shelter was here when the place was called Pigsty?
That's right. Yes.
And they was pushed out through the white folks coming in. It was not a place of value. I don't think we should let anything go down until we back a restaurant and for them to be in here. I think the community should back them. I don't care what the judge said, because they've been here through the muck and mire. Is it union? I want the people from the community to do construction work and not a bunch of Mexicans that's doing all the construction work here now that don't even belong in this country.
Brother Ray, do you have a question?
The question is, I can talk all you want. The question is, 1 apartment for a family coming out of the shelter is unacceptable.
Okay,
one
let them
three
answer the
bedroom for
question.
family. Is everyone accepting? So you can talk all you want.
All right. You want to answer the question?
Ain't no Tuesday.
You want, I think you wanted to know how many apartments for people coming out of shelters? 13
of the units.
I'm talking about a family, for family.
Yeah.
Family shelter, one apartment for a family shelter, one.
What do you?
There's one
three-bedroom unit.
You only got 13 apartments.
one 3-bedroom. One 3-bedroom unit.
Let them answer the question about
There's no
apartments.
There's 3 2-bedroom units, there's 6 1-bedroom units, and then there's 3 studio units. So if you're talking about the men's, the 13, yeah, out of 85. Right, but then we also, our AMI, which we pulled up there that showed you the range of incomes. They're all below 80, so it's 40%, 50%, 70, 80%.
That's like the give off.
Oh.
You build these buildings, but you have to have a certain amount of affordable apartments in them, am I right?
All of them. So this whole development is 100%.
Okay. I'm sorry, we have another question? Yeah.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Sign off on it and then agree to it.
So I have a question about this St. Nick's Alliance, because I noticed that there's you mentioned that they have, they've done previous, they have other sites, but there's no mention of what those sites are. And there's also no mention of what is there a report card on them?
I mean, we could provide addresses of other projects, as a follow-up, if the board is interested.
Yes, I would be interested to know what other sites they've developed, and also you said they're gonna manage. So I wanna know what kind of management is going to be, what's the response from the tenants?
The question was your management experience and the projects.
So for St. Nick's Alliance, I know, they've been managing properties for about 40 years. My understanding is that, currently we're managing well over 1,000 units. Some of our recent projects, for instance, one of the pictures on this slide was our 695 Grand Street project, which is in Williamsburg, it's a 51-unit building. We manage that, that's about 2 years old. We have a couple of other buildings that it all went through HPE. Our Open Opportunities project, which was a 23-unit building, new construction, 100% affordable, we manage that building. A Kings Villas project, which was a 39-unit building with a scattered site, a lot of units in Bed-Stuy, Brownsville, Williamsburg, very scattered. We manage those as well. So we do manage buildings. Our Jefferson Watkins cluster, which is a lot of units, is about, I believe, 42 buildings, and over 200 units. We manage those buildings that are very scattered around Brownsville, Bedford, Stuyvesant. There's always going to be complaints and stuff, but we have a reputation in our management, for keeping buildings in good condition and having a good relationship with our tenants.
Okay, we have time for maybe 2 or 3 more.
I got a question over here, Rich. Rich.
Okay,
Artie Joe.
thank you.
I got a question, to HPD. Was there any particular reason why Mr. Freeman was shut out of the negotiation and buying and taking over after he's been there for 40 years or more? What was the decision on HPD?
Again, I wasn't in the courtroom, I'm not part of whatever discussion, but what I know is, Mr. Eddie Freeman has been in business in this community for many decades, right? Obviously, that's, the community is speaking to that. And I think that lot has been vacant there for a very long time. So I don't know what the discussion has been, but the lot remains to be vacant.
But you were part of it, HPD, so if you got to know something.
And then we saw a chance to develop it in earnest, right? So we put out a competitive RFP, which is public to everybody, it's on our website. And it's not, we didn't say Eddie Freeman can't apply to this RFP. That is something he definitely could have applied to. And it's totally open, it's competitive. And what we look for in that RFP is we look at capacity, we look at the building design. So, I mean, if you saw the renderings in the deck that we gave you, it's a well-designed, building, so we want to make sure that.
What I understand, what I get hold on.
Okay, please, quiet, let one person speak.
What I get from this, and listening to what is being said tonight, as being in this community before Mr. Freeman, I think, and I might be wrong, that HPD made a deal to bring restoration in to make a front wherein they wouldn't take Mr. Freeman and to put him in front of this. This is what I'm getting out of this tonight. Because he wasn't given a fair deal. And what I see in Mr. and Gordon Bell,
you
see him, and he's going to be the scapegoat for what has happened, and he won't be able to be a part of that. Thank you.
Hello.
So I think you can foil our documents. There
I think she
is.
should stop speaking because she said she wasn't involved.
Please, let her answer the question.
She
Let her
wasn't
answer the
privy.
question, please. No. You already spoke. We got one or two more people, and we got.
Right here.
Yes, ma'am, would you like to answer?
I mean, there was an accusation that was put out there, and I just want to say you can foil city documents. There was no deal that we made with anybody on this. We picked the best projects based on design, financing, capacity of the teams. So I'm disappointed to hear that there was some.
So we're gonna have 3 more questions, yes.
Okay, I just want to say, hello, my name is Dr. Best, and I just wanted to say this here. I think that the deal is already sealed, right? But I think they should be compensated for their money that they put out for 20 years. Let's be right now. And I think that they should go back to court, and they need to go and get their money, the $1.6 million they put out. Okay, because the deal is sealed. So for us to sit here and try to argue and try to figure it out, the most important thing, they need to get their money back. That's all I have to say.
Okay,
Dr. Larry.
Brother.
You have a mic?
Brother.
Mike is talking to. 1, 2.
Hi, my name is Dr. Deborah Lamb. I have a design question. And I'm looking at the fact that this is a R6A, which is a general residence district. And within this, the requirement is that you have parking, 1 per dwelling unit or 50% of dwelling units approved. Although I see bicycle storage, I see no parking in this design. And so there's,
the architect is here, but back in 2016 or 15, the city passed a zoning for quality and affordability. So as part of that zoning allows for the waiver of parking if the project produces income restricted apartments. So this, and the definition of income restricted units is anything that's 80% of the area median income below, which is what this project is.
Okay, so they were able to waive out of the park. Yes.
All right, I just want to say.
What's your name?
I'm Darlene Neely. I was the city councilwoman for 12 years, and now I'm the 55th Assembly District leader. This is the beginning of the end if this project goes through. You have a pillar of our community all these years, and I know myself. I sit at the table when I do not want a project going through. I do not vote for it. I have to fight my colleagues sometimes. But if you look at 444 Thomas Borland, where I went through 2 mayors, trying to offer me the world, but I feel our community deserve better. If they can do a jail, they can do a school, they can do a
Yes.
center, they can do anything else. But guess what? That jail is not there now. And I made sure it was not there. It went to Supreme Court and it still did not get built as of yet. Y'all can give me a hand on that. So, if we let this happen right now, and everybody in here know that they have went to Sugar Hill, he has let us use it for free sometimes. And if we do not have this man and his family have that property to build, why they could not have been offered to partner with a contractor from our neighborhood, that they can both build economic empowerment back to the community. And here it is now, we'd rather give it to an outsider than right here, partnership with the owner here and somebody from a community. I think that young man, you're a contractor, right? Why we couldn't connect with him? What's your company? Something is wrong, y'all. It's not my district, but Sugar Hill has done so much for this community, and I feel I have stopped projects. I've been on vacation and came back where Euler was going through, and I said, well, if you don't give this church this land, the whole project is not going through. And guess what? It did not go through. And the church got the project. So if I can do it, I know if you can do it best over here. Y'all more organized than I was over in the 41st district. Y'all can get this done. So y'all should not vote for this and try to work something out with Mr. Eddie. He has done a whole lot for us. So please think about it.
Thank you, Mr. Leo. We have time for one or more questions.
I don't know how to follow that.
No, it's true.
Yes, it's true. My concern here is, as Karen Cherry, I take my hat off, not as Representative Seminole, but as a 55-year-old resident here in Brooklyn, with a great concern, as Ray said, those in shelters coming out. Is there any type of priority being given to those that live in once Ward 3? That's one. As well as someone homeless, is there a priority given to those that will be applying for that? Is there a priority within that?
So the homeless set-aside units it's for DHS, the Department of Homeless Service, help us, find the tenants for that. So there's no priority by location.
There's no priority.
There's no priority based on
There is
location.
no priority.
But it's for the homeless, but for the rest of the units that are not homeless set aside, there's still 50% preference for this community board.
But there's still no priority.
No,
For the homeless, there's no priority.
correct, for the homeless is your priority, but for the, the non-homeless units, there's still the 50% for CD3 residents.
Okay, so, we have one more question. I had to close the hearing because we have a second public hearing. So, yes.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Sheila Leo. So I just have a quick question about the proposed unit sheet. And I guess this would be probably a little bit more specific to HPD, because this is a project that is in Bedford Stuyvesant. It's no secret in terms of what is going on with the rents in this particular community, what's been going on for quite some time. I would be shocked if HPD wasn't aware. With that being said, in discussing the proposed unit mixes, I'm just curious as to what was the reasoning behind going up to an 80% AMI in this community when you stood here and discussed and spoke about how we want to make this something that is for the community, by the community, affordable, et cetera, et cetera. There are plenty of apartments already in this community that people with 80% AMI, 100% AMI, 120% AMI are in a position to afford, that aren't even from this community, but are coming into this community to live under those percentages. But for those who still live in this community, who've been here for years and years and years, why would HPD go all the way up to 80%? as opposed to a homeless set aside, then a 30%, a 40%, a 50%, and capping it at 60%, which would at that point really be deemed.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a real concern, and we definitely hear that, and, you know, we
I don't want
try.
you to hear it, I just want you to.
No, I understand, and I think that, so we recently we have, new term sheets, out, and in the past, we've done a lot of 60% AMI units, because that's the low income rental program, that's the tax program. So we have plenty of 60% and not a variety at the lower end. So right now, in order to provide units at the 40 and the 50, we have to balance that and have, some of the 80 and the 70s. And I think that's a result of having a lot of the 60s in the past. We're also missing the 70 and 80. So more, so 80% AMI individual.
Why did
Right now,
restoration agree
it's
to that?
58,000 or 80 a year.
Yes.
So for an individual, that's somebody, coming out of college or grad school with their first job. And for a couple, for a one bedroom, we're looking at 66,000. So that we also have the lower end AMIs as well, so 30, 40, 50. So I think the answer to the question is we're trying to balance out.
We're gonna have to close off the public hearing, I'm sorry. We have another public hearing.
I just thought that this was a project for the entire community. That's what she stood up here and said. So now she's saying something completely
Different.
contradictory to, because she's not, I'm just curious.
If you want to understand how it actually works, 2014, Marty Joe Long, this project was changed for Eddie's property. Restoration was not even involved. You need to understand that, so, Sarah, you work with me closely. I would tell you, if I said this is the best deal we can pull off. It wasn't, I wasn't even involved, restoration wasn't involved, so it didn't happen the way you thought. Second, you asked why, you asked a very powerful question, why? We can't get subsidy unless we do what HPD says, is why. So we're in the business of making, you know what, there's 3,000, guys, there's 3,000 units in new housing, 3,000. Guess how many affordable? A couple of hundred. Guess who made them affordable? That's us at Albany and Fulton. That's us at Bedford. I'm working right now in 1921 Fulton. That's me redoing that building. That's all low income. I mean low income. 1921 Fulton. That's our building we're redoing. Everything new. We ain't getting any hookup. We have to play by their rules. Unless you can vote in a government that will fund your not-for-profits to spend exactly as you want, you're gonna get what you got. Understand, we're working with the very best resources we can figure out to produce affordable housing. And 13 for the homeless, all the way up. HPD controls the subsidy. So if that's not clear enough to you, what do you want me to say? That's the way the subsidy works.
Thank you, I have to close. We're closing the public hearing, we have another public hearing. Excuse me. Thank you very much.
They don't do either.
We're gonna have our next public hearing come from the Economic Development Committee. So, Ms. Finn just informed me she would like to caucus with the members of her committee. She'll be caucusing out of the hallway. We're gonna go on to our next public hearing. It's coming out of the Economic Development Committee. If you can please settle down a little bit. And the introduction is gonna be given by Keith Walsh.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Hello. We have another presentation from the Economic Development Committee. We have Artel Hotel LLC doing the presentation for SLA application. The presentation will be given by Andre Hammond, the general manager.
Quiet, please.
I didn't get no presentation.
Quiet on, sir.
Oh, okay.
Good evening. My house is Sugar Hill. I know them all as well. They're in my hotels. They're helping to build them as well. You're back here? Yeah. Community Board 3, thanks for having us.
Hotel RM?
Yes, ma'am.
That's my hotel.
Appreciate the shout outs. We give it for free as well too, so definitely come in, come look for me. If you want to have meetings, we do that as well. We're getting ready to open our hotel. It's a bigger event space. That's what I'm here to see. They're looking for like a license. Nice color photos. Gives you a look at the building. We are a couple of addresses: 1107 Decal and also 9 Malcolm X. 9 Malcolm X leads into the hotel, so hotel's lobby. 1107 Decal leads to the event space and bar.
Are you doing a you have a slide presentation?
I have high-rise photos
That are going around?
that's around the table. Yeah. Sure, it's the same set. It's nice and colorful, beautiful product coming into the neighborhood. Again, we're not talking Sugar Hill, but not the father of the son. These are our projects, construction work, so we're giving back to the community. We're hiring folks in the community. We're just bringing good things to the community. We have the RL. I heard about it as I was sitting here. Someone's having a function there later on this week or next week. Yes. We are building Laudemars 2 on Beaver. We also have a Brooklyn house that's up and running on Flushing. Artel, a Holiday Express, 1207 Broadway, and just beyond that, another hotel coming. So a lot of developments, a lot of good things for the community, put people to work. Again, we're here this evening trying to talk to you guys and getting us another liquor license. Excuse me. What would you like to hear?
Okay, are you finished with your presentation?
It's here in front of you guys. Yes.
The presentation is in front of us, but you did not give a presentation for us.
What is it that you'd like to know?
Talking to the mic, Mrs. Clark.
Hello. The presentation is being passed out to the community, to the board members. But you was told to give a presentation to the whole entire committee, to people.
All right, so as I just did, I work for Real Hospitality. My name is Andre Hammond.
Okay, so that's.
My owner is Mars, building all these hotels here in Brooklyn. That's Bushwick. We're here for the community. We've opened the RL, which you've given us a liquor license for.
I understand you're here for the community, but you're not taking general information and directions for the community. You were specifically told to do a presentation for the board as a whole.
Right.
And that presentation being a slide presentation.
They're here right in front of you. High-res color photos. You look at them, you ask me whatever you'd like to know, and I can explain them to you.
Okay, so I think your presentation is concluded now, so we're going to take.
Right, I notice, you're talking all the time, so I am here to preserve time as well.
Okay, so we're going to take questions
yes.
from the public.
Yes, sir.
Hold on, we need, you got another mic?
I'm going.
Mike, right here.
And when you state your question, if you could please give your name and begin.
Hello, Brother Ray, once again. Listen, my brother. I'm against you selling liquor, but
put your microwave, take those things back, come back in next month with a slide presentation. Do not come in front of your people in the black, so-called black community with a proposition and you're not showing the people nothing on the slide presentation. Go back home and then come back and see us later. Do not come and do that. You're disrespecting us.
No, we're not.
You're disrespecting us. Go home and come back and don't just give it to them and not to us.
We have been going through.
No, sorry, brother. I respect you, but don't do it to us.
Thank you.
Don't do it to us.
Thank you.
If you want us to give you the whole game, sell poison, don't do it to us.
Okay, any other questions?
Right here,
Let me just say this, we're open in this hotel February 15th with a liquor license or without a liquor license. No, there's no disrespect.
Hello, everyone.
There is no disrespect.
Take care of it.
Quiet on the shirt.
Community. I just want to let you know, I've been having my holiday party there for the last 2 years. And I just had another event just Sunday, the Super Bowl party there. It's a nice place. Maybe I will speak with him later, because I never met you, but I saw you a couple of times there. Please let me talk to him and let him know the way how to get a liquor license here. But I'm telling you, the place that they're about to open is at least 1,000 square feet. I'm gonna have a house party there.
It's for the community as well.
I know, but the prices are right. I'm just asking the community, give them another opportunity to come back for you, right? And the food was, now you're gonna have food, right?
Correct.
It's European hotel rooms. Whenever we do it, we're gonna they have a rooftop where you can rent out the whole rooftop. It's a nice place, and I just hope that the community can give them another opportunity, because I've been using.
We'll get a recommendation from the Economic Development Committee.
On Broadway and Malcolm X, right down the line.
Correct, we have several hotels coming up.
And now, just for that one, they just opened another one right next door. How many bedrooms?
This is a 130-room hotel with about 500 beds.
So please think.
It's a Artel.
Hotel Artel.
Hotel Artel. So I have.
Oh, that is two different.
Right, we're gonna have your function. Artel is being open February.
So I am gonna have the first big party there, so please come out. It's a fundraiser. I'm talking there.
Okay, any other questions? Thank you, District Leader. Any other questions from the board members of the public?
Okay, please.
Okay, welcome to come visit. I'm sitting there in RL all the time, and come visit. I'll show you guys around.
Thank you very much. If there's no other questions, we'll close this public hearing. We're gonna move on to the next thing.
1080 Broadway.
Mr. Keith Forrest just said that the Economic Development Committee is gonna be partners in the hallway. So we're gonna move on to community announcements. So if you're here, if you could please be ready in this order, 2 minutes. Come to the front, George Hutchinson, Roger Greeno, I think he spoke already. Ms. Johnson, Mildred Eason, Jasmine Chang, Stephanie Reed, and Monique Powell. George.
Great evening, everyone. My name is George Hutchinson. I am the founder of Race for Excellence, a mentoring program for middle school boys ages 10 to 14. Race for Excellence is a STEAM-based group mentoring program where middle school boys can build self-esteem and self-worth through accomplishment and acknowledgement. That means that there is science, technology, engineering, math involved with the program. That also means that students are going to be exposed to many of the hiccups that we are exposed to in life in the program, so they get to practice dealing with them. I'm holding a fundraiser on Saturday, March 28th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the Beacon Center at MS 35. So here's my ask. I have 5 students on the waiting list for the September 2020 program, and I'm gonna need some help because I've been running this program for 7 years out of my pocket. So I'm running it on the Masjid, Clara Muhammad School on the corner of Madison Street and Bedford Avenue. The principal has been nice enough to offer me the space for free. I think it's about time I start paying for it because the program's growing. My fundraiser is I'm looking to raise $5,000. What this will pay for is equipment because the students get to keep the remote control cars that they're using in the program. I take them on a trip to the auto show so that I can show them what they're doing in the program can be used in real life. I also take them to the Black Men's Brunch hosted by Eric Adams and 500 Men so they can learn how to network. Also, so they can see people who are successful that look like them. Hopefully they'll provide them with job opportunities later on when they're old enough. So the ask is for donations to fundraising items. I'm having raffles. So I'd like to offer a flat screen TV because everybody wants to buy one. I'd like to offer a high-end set of headphones because it's attractive to people in order to raise money for the September 2020 program. Again, I'm looking for $5,000 and I'm looking for support. So if anyone would like to get in touch with me, I have palm cards out front. And I also have a website. It's race4excellence.org. On there, you'll find more information about the program and detailed information that is growing for the fundraiser. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Milford Eason here. Jasmine Chong, followed by Stephanie Reed, followed by Monique Powell, followed by Mary Hay.
Hi everyone, my name is Jasmine. Good evening. Thanks for having me here. I'm here to talk about some community projects that are happening in St. Andrew's Playground. So I'm working with the Friends of St. Andrew's Playground and Ms. Cromwell to do community-led programs and projects in the park. One of the projects that we're working on in the park is called Community Heroes. So we have heard tonight about so many residents who poured blood, sweat, love, equity into this neighborhood. And this is a public art project that really wants to honor and celebrate those folks. So we are asking for nominations for who are everyday neighborhood heroes in this neighborhood. We'll then, now through the summer, is all about outreach, getting the word out, getting nominations, hearing who these people are. And then we invite local artists, neighborhood local artists, to come and take their portraits and share their stories. And we're going to put this together in a public art project in St. Andrew's Park. That'll be up for the next 11 months. So I have lots of information outside. I have postcards, my card. I want to hear from people who have somebody who they want to nominate. I want to hear from people who are artists or who know artists who will want to get involved in this project. And I also want to hear ideas for how to get this word out more. So what other meetings should I be at? Should I be tabling at the library? Any of those, I would love to talk to you. This is very much the beginning of this project, and we're hoping to work with the Parks Committee to come back and give a longer presentation about the project. But for now, I just wanted to say hello and to say that I want to talk to you about all those things. Thank you.
Stephanie Reed.
Monique Powell. Very good.
Good evening again. That's Plato in our house, his brother, his oldest brother, Dr. John Flacco, Commissioner on New York City Board of Election, also one of the presidents at Bedford, Medgar Evers College. He's receiving very big citation at the Concord Baptist Church of Christ because of his community service and all the service that he's given down through the years. Maybe you know him already, Dr. Flacco, I don't have to sell it. So on Friday, February 28th, 2020 at the Concord Baptist Church of Christ. That's 833 Garden City Boulevard, the corner of Clinton Avenue. All of you know Concord. So please support and make Mr. Flacco Senior, the older brother, happy by coming out to support us for this Brotherhood of One banquet for you. You can see Mr. Flacco tonight and give him a check or give him a commitment so that you can pay. The tickets are $50. And you'll get dinner, a speaker, and we have a young man in computer program that he's gonna also be a presenter. So all I can say, anytime we have anything to Concord Church for Brotherhood, Black History Month, which is Friday, February 28th. Please see us tonight if you want to attend so that you can get a seat. Thank you very much.
Justin Cohen.
You get out there.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm here to talk about the Save 227 Duffield campaign. My name is Justin Cohen. Are folks familiar with 227 Duffield? So we know it's the last remaining home on Abolitionist Place in downtown Brooklyn between Fulton and Willoughby. The Landmarks and Preservation Commission just ruled against the effort to make it a historic landmark. So the Landmarks and Preservation Commission takes into account architectural detail, but they don't care about historical significance, or that the house, we have evidence, was a part of the Underground Railroad. So we are mounting an emergency mobilization campaign to save this house, and we need your help. So I don't have any more palm cards, unfortunately, but Equality for Flatbush is leading this effort along with the Brooklyn Movement Center and other organizations in the community. If you are interested in helping, we're going to be doing a number of actions in the course of the next few weeks to make sure that they don't demolish the house, including trying to raise money to turn it into a museum of Black history. So my name is Justin Cohen again. I'm happy to talk to anybody else who's interested in working with us, and thank you for the time tonight.
Next on the agenda is roll call.
You wanna let them know? Where's my roll call? Babatunde Akwe, Felicia Alexander, Taiwan Anthony. I know he's. Monique Antoine. Dr. Kim Best. Lillian Bowman is excused. Anthony was right. Michael Catlin. Vanessa Clark. Vanessa Clark. Ivy Gamble Cobb. Evelyn Collier. Pastor Gwendolyn Dingle. Taina Evans. Mark Frizell is excused. Richard Plateau. Sharon Forbes. Sharon Forbes is present. Keith Forrest. Greg Pasco. Shea Greenfeld. Shea Greenfeld.
I think he's in the meeting. The caucusing.
Mary Jamison Head.
No, I'm able to go. I'm going to.
Abby Robinson Hobson. Omar Holloway is absent. Everett Hughes. Victor Iro. Keisha Jerryman. Edna Johnson. Dr. Perlene Johnson. Dr. Deborah Lamb. Lisa Lewis.
She was part of that committee as well, right? Lisa Lewis is present? Thank you. Mary Little? Dionisio Liz is absent. Cardi Joe Vaughn? Debbie Matthews? Debbie Matthews is, she left? Okay, thank you. Kenneth Embono?
He's caucusing.
Okay, thank you. Ellen Miller? Melissa Plowder Norman? Santina Payton? C. Doris Penn? Simone Pratt? She's caucusing. Okay, Simone Pratt is here. Karen Brown is excused for the meeting. Carolyn Richburg? Wendy Robinson? Stacy Ruffin, present. Suzette Shepherd? She's caucusing as well, I believe. Thank you. Jamela Swift is excused for the meeting. Chen Hill. Alicia Walton? Reverend Dr. Robert Waterman? Doug Williams? And TJ Wilson?
Here.
Okay, we gotta move on to committee updates and resolutions, and I would ask, Mr. Glasgow, if you just ask the, committee that you come back in, because we may have missed some people on the roll call, too. Thank you. So we're gonna move on to, committee updates and resolutions.
Just want to note, Education Committee, on the calendars, listed as the 13th is the meeting, it's actually on the 12th.
We're here. All of us.
If you just came back, and please see the secretary, make sure she didn't, mark you as absent. Any other committee updates and resolutions? If you just walk back in, please see the secretary, make sure she didn't mark you absent. Okay, if not, we're gonna move on to action on the public hearing. So we have 2 items that we have to vote on tonight. First one will be the HPD request for a letter of support for the Cal Commons project. And just made it in the room?
No, you're not ready. Be right back.
Okay, so we're gonna move to the second item, which will be regarding the Artel Brooklyn Hotel LLC request for a letter of support for an alcohol beverage control license, and the recommendation will be given by Mr. Keith Forrest, Vice Chair of the Economic Development Committee.
On behalf of the Economic Development Committee, on the case of RL Hotel, request for a letter of support for a liquor license, we voted unanimously for a letter of non-support.
Okay, you heard the recommendation from Mr. Forrest regarding, I believe it's Artel Brooklyn Hotel, ARTEL Brooklyn Hotel LLC, and the recommendation is for a letter of non-support. Is there a motion on the recommendation? Okay, it was moved by Edna Johnson, seconded by Gregory Glasgow. Any discussion on the motion? Okay, I'm gonna call a question.
Felicia Alexander?
If there are any members in the hallway, they need to come in while we take the vote.
Dr. Kim Best? Anthony Buzera? Michael Kaplan? Ivy Gamble Cobb? Evelyn Collier? Evelyn Collier. Pastor Gwendolyn Daigle. You can't be outside, you guys gotta come in. Evelyn Collier for the Artel Hotel LLC.
Okay, I'm gonna have to repeat, you didn't hear. So the recommendation is for a letter of non-support for Artel Brooklyn Hotel LLC.
Thank you. Pastor Gwendolyn Daigle.
Yes.
Thank you. Taina Evans.
Yes.
Richard Plateau.
Yes.
Sharon Forbes. Sharon Forbes. Keith Forrest.
Yes.
Here's Sharon here.
No, how are you voting? Sharon, how are you voting? For a letter of non-support?
Sharon Forbes, how are you voting for the Arts House? Thank you. Greg Glasgow.
Yes.
Shia Greenfeld.
Yes.
Mary Jamison Head.
Abstain.
Abby Robinson Thompson. Abby Robinson Thompson. Everett Hughes.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Everett Hughes?
Yes.
Thank you. Victor Iro. Keisha Jerryman.
Yes.
Edna Johnson. Dr. Carleen Johnson.
Yes.
Dr. Deborah Lamb.
Yes.
Lisa Lewis.
Yes.
Mary Little. Miriam? Yes, thank you, sir. Hardy Joe Long.
Yes.
Kenneth Embuno. Kenneth? And Ellen Miller. Melissa Plowman Norman.
Yes.
Santina Payton. C. Doris Penn. Simone Pratt.
Yes.
Kenneth Embuno, what did you say?
Yes, yes.
How about Ellen Miller?
Yes.
C. Doris Penn.
Say yes.
Wendy Robinson.
Yes.
Stacy Ruffin, yes. Suzette Shepherd.
Yes.
Shinya Louis Doe.
Yes.
Alicia Walton.
Yes.
Reverend Dr. Robert Waterman.
Yes.
Doug Williams. TJ Wilson.
Okay, we're gonna move on to the next vote, action on public hearing, which is the HPD request for a letter of support for the DeKalb Commons project. Recommendation will be given by the chair of the Housing and Land Use Committee, C. Doris Penn.
Okay, to summarize the details of the project, this is a matter of an application submitted by HPD for the designation of the properties as stated in the minutes. Has a urban development action area and an urban development action area project for this area for the disposition of the said property, which has been read into the minutes, to facilitate development of 3 buildings containing an approximate total, and that's, it should be three sites, containing an approximate total of 84 affordable residential units and commercial space. The committee met with St. Nick's and Restoration on several occasions. The project was presented to the committee, and it was vetted. At those meetings that, where the committee met with the developers, we were also in attendance, as we are very often, with multiple residents from the community who were interested in this and other projects. We also met with other interested parties to this project, whether they were yay or whether they were nay, on more than one occasion. The committee takes its responsibility very seriously. The committee's final meeting, to which the decision was made, as we usually do, was after the public hearing that we had here this evening. After the public hearing, we caucused and we voted. And the committee voted to support the project of affordable housing in Bedford.
Okay, board members, you've heard the recommendation from C. Doris Penn, Chair of the Housing and Land Use Committee. Is there a motion on the recommendation for a letter of support for the Canal Commerce project? Moved by Gregory Glasgow, seconded by Doug Williams. Any discussion on the motion?
There isn't any, just saying, there isn't any,
Can you talk into the mic, please?
Thank you. This is Tanya Evans. There isn't any, addendum that we can do to this motion or recommendation? I'm asking anyone on the committee, is that possible?
So right now, there's a motion on the floor that was moved and properly seconded, so we would have to vote on the motion.
Yeah, but even if we vote on it, my question is there any addendum after this, or we just gonna straight yes or no?
Now, we have a motion on the floor, which, go up to the parliamentarian. I think we have to vote this up or down. So there's a motion that was moved and properly seconded. So if you have a question on the motion, we can take that now, otherwise we'll move on to the vote.
I wanna ask for an amendment after we voted up and down.
Okay, so why don't you state what is your proposed amendment?
That they include, Sugar Hill folks in the design process or some area of the process or work with them to give them their money back.
Okay, I'm gonna let the chair of the Housing and Land Use answer that.
I understand your amendment. Right. The only thing I can say to that is that the issue between Sugar Hill and HPD is in essence a landlord-tenant situation, and that's not something that we can get involved in.
Okay, so she made the recommendation and she's not accepting that as a friendly amendment. We do have a motion on the floor that was seconded. So is there any other discussion on the motion? Yes.
While we were in the meeting, I went online and Googled that case. And if you look online, you will see what Sugar Hill agreed to and their agreement with HPD. It's very explicit what they agreed to. They were a month-to-month tenant. There was no guarantee that they were going to be given that property. They were represented by an attorney. It's a separate issue from what we're being asked to vote on in terms of affordable housing in Bed-Stuy. It's public knowledge, it's there, it's clear what they were represented by an attorney, and it was clear what the agreement that they had with HPD was.
Okay, any other discussion on the motion? Okay, if there's no other discussion, I will call the question. And again, the motion is to give a letter of support regarding the request for a letter of support for the DeKalb Commons project.
Alicia Alexander. Dr. Kim Best. Anthony Bozarek. Michael Catlin.
Yes.
Ivy Gamble Cobb.
Yes.
Evelyn Collier. Pastor Gwendolyn Daigle. Tiana Evans.
No.
Richard Plateau.
Yes.
Sharon Forbes. Keith Forrest. Greg Glasgow.
Yes.
Sheer Greenfeld.
Yes.
Mary Jamison Head.
Come back to me.
Abby Robinson Thompson.
No.
Everett Hughes.
No.
Keisha Juryman. Edna Johnson. She left. Dr. Curleen Johnson.
Abstain.
Dr. Deborah Lamb.
Yes.
Lisa Lewis.
No.
Mary Little. Hardy Joe Long.
Yes.
Kenneth Embono.
Yes.
Ellen Miller. Melissa Plowden Norman.
No.
Santina Payton.
No.
C. Doris Penn.
Yes.
Simone Pratt.
Yes.
Wendy Robinson.
No.
Stacy Ruffin. No. Suzette Shepherd.
No.
Chinyalu Udo.
Yes.
Alicia Walton.
No.
Reverend Dr. Robert Waterman.
No.
Doug Williams. TJ Wilson. Would you let me finish? All right, thank you.
So,
One member didn't vote.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mary Jamison Head. I'm sorry, Ms. Head. Mary Jamison Head.
Yes.
Thank you.
okay, so, the first vote on the Martel LLC request for a letter of support, and the motion was for a letter of non-support. The vote was 36-4, 0 against, 1 abstention, so the motion carries for a letter of non-support. So while the secretary is tabulating the, okay, you have. Okay, so the attendance, we had 37 members present, 13 absent, so we had a quorum. Regarding the HPD request for letter of support for the DeKalb Commons project, the motion was for a letter of support. The vote was 15 for, 18 against, and 3 abstentions. So the motion for letter of support fails. I'm gonna move on to the chairperson's report, and I have three things. One we'll have to take a vote on, so I'll go through that one first, and then there's two other short things. So, board members should keep in mind one of your duties per the bylaws is to attend public meetings and also attend meetings of the primary committee. During the January board meeting, I indicated I will be reviewing board meeting and committee attendance with the help of board staff and the board secretary, Stacy Ruffin. During the process of review, we found one board member, Dionisio Liz, that attended one board meeting and no committee meetings during calendar year 2019. My bylaws state the following: 3 absences from meetings of the board called in any consecutive 6-month period during which the community board is in session shall be sufficient cause for removal. In addition, 3 absences from your committee meetings of the board in any 6-month period should be sufficient cause for removal. Only attendance to the members' primary committee will be under judgment, and that is directly from our bylaws. Mr. Liz was given notice on 2 occasions that his membership on Community Board 3 was in jeopardy. Based on his attendance, first correspondence was sent out May 13, 2019. And the second correspondence on January 24, 2020. Most recently, it sent a letter by regular certified mail and email notifying him that we'd be voting on his removal at the February 3rd meeting, and that he was entitled to defend himself and to bring counsel if he wishes. The Borough President's Office and Council Member Alika Ambry Samuel's staff were also copied on that correspondence. Council Member Alika Ambry Samuel was also notified in person at the June 6th Community Board meeting by yours truly that the removal of Mr. Liz from the Community Board was pending. Mr. Liz was also given the option of resigning. He emailed back on January 29th that, quote, "I understand I haven't been attending for that. I apologize. I understand on removing me and accept the repercussions. I will be out of New York next week. Thank you for your time and consideration." Unquote, from Mr. Liz. Given the above facts, no, he didn't resign. Given the above facts regarding the attendance of Dionisio Liz, it is my recommendation that Mr. Liz be removed from Community Board 3 because he has not met the attendance requirements as stated in our bylaws. So that's the recommendation. Is there a motion? Who is that? Motion by Deborah Land to accept the recommendation of the chair. Who's the second? Seconded by Lisa Lewis. Any discussion on the motion? Oh, he hasn't been here, that's why. It's Dionisio Liz. Okay, is there any other discussion? Okay, if not, I will call the question. So the motion is to remove Dionisio Liz from the roles of Community Board 3 due to his lack of attendance.
Felicia Alexander.
Yes.
Dr. Kim Best.
Yes.
Anthony Buzarek. Michael Catlin.
Yes.
Vanessa Clark. Evelyn Collier.
Yes.
Pastor Gwendolyn Dingle.
Yes.
Tanyana Evans.
Yes.
Richard Plateau.
Yes.
Sharon Forbes. Keith Forrest. Greg Glasgow.
Shea Greenfeld. Mary Jameson Head. Abby Robinson Hobson. She left also.
Abby.
Abby.
So did you say my name?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Abby Robinson.
Sorry, yes.
Thank you, Abby. Everett Hughes.
Yes.
Keisha Jarman.
Yes.
Yes. Dr. Curly Johnson.
Yes.
Dr. Deborah Lamb. Lisa Lewis. Marion Little. Hardy Joe Long.
Yes.
Kenneth Bono.
Yes.
Ellen Miller.
Yes.
Melissa Plata Norman.
Yes.
Satina Payson.
Yes.
C. Doris Penn. Simone Katz.
Yes.
Wendy Robinson.
Yes.
Stacy Ruffin, yes. Suzette Shepherd.
Yes.
Shania Lou Udo. She left. Alicia Walton.
Yes.
Reverend Dr. Robert Waterman.
Yes.
Doug, wait until I finish reading. Doug Williams. And TJ Wilson.
Yes.
Okay, just two more very brief items. One, Personnel Committee meets quarterly. My next meeting is going to be March 18th. It's tentatively scheduled for March 18th at 6 p.m. And I'll send out a notice to members of the Personnel Committee. Last thing, guidelines were sent out to all community board 3 staff and board members regarding the board funded education and training opportunities. Deadline for coursework is already passed. If you have any questions, please contact the board office. So our last piece of business is acceptance of the January 6th minutes. Is there a motion? Moved by Ivy Gamble Cobb, is there a second on that? Second by Evelyn Collier, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay, unanimous. Let me just read the vote on the removal. Initial Liz, the vote for removal for the initial Liz was 31 for removal, 0 opposed, 0 abstention, motion carries. Last thing is a motion for adjournment. Moved by Simone Pratt, seconded by Evan Collier, all in favor? Any opposed? Meeting is adjourned.